Hello, everybody, and welcome to the OCRP Cup Series here tonight at Charlotte for 300 miles, 200 laps around this place for the championship race tonight. And unless a bunch of people show up and ruin the whole thing, this is looking like it might be the 88 that can take the championship for the championship 300 here tonight as the sun is setting. My name's Jeff Favignano, joined by Civ Ryan, Mr. Joe Cortez, and in the pit area we got Tony Wilson as well. Guys, you ready for some championship racing? Looks like Favignano, no surprises, is at the top of the board right now.
Very excited, Jeff. Yeah, it's been a long season, but it's been a good season, and I'm finally excited to see how the finale goes.
It has been a season, no doubt, a season of gladiatorial battles between some of the biggest names in our league. Guys who have fought their way all the way to the top and now hold fate in their hands. Wes Graham, with 4 wins and 11 top fives, is 30 points away from winning the championship. But if something happens to him, if something happens where he cannot finish tonight, Nick Sargent and Brandon Buggs both wait in the wings to try to steal that champion from the heir apparent.
And continue on, guys, because I have to take care of a technical issue.
Always
Beautiful
fun.
Beautiful track, Charlotte Motor Speedway, my own home track here in the heart of the Piedmonts, just outside of Charlotte city limits in Concord, North Carolina. This mile-and-a-half track has hosted it all. The perennial host to the Coca-Cola 600, for a long time, the host of the Bank of America 500, before they changed it to a road oval course, now home of the Bank of America 400 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They call it the heart of NASCAR country, and for many of the drivers, this is a home race. With most of the shops based here in the heart of the Piedmonts, in the heart of the Carolinas, most of these guys are able to drive this race and head on home for a nice home-cooked meal and sleep in their own beds for a change, with the exception of the occasional driver like Chase Elliott, who chooses to fly in and week out. I don't know his living situation. I'm not stalking him or anything, but you know, it's very interesting to see. It's going to be tonight I think will be a very poetic ending to the series, Ryan. I think tonight will be a night to reflect and a night to look forward as the OCRP closes its 10th season.
It is actually kind of crazy how many seasons it's been. 10 seasons. Doesn't feel like yesterday we were in season 1 and fired this league up and we're on the short tracks and guys were yelling at each other on the radio. And check out Jeff's old radioactive edits he did on his YouTube. There's some gold in there. I know how long that took you to edit too, which is why you were like, I
wish
can't do these
I had the time to do it because man, it was a lot of fun, but yeah, it just took up so much time no matter what. Looks like we're jumping in the next session already, so we should be gridding up here. I'm going to go ahead and change that over to our lap counter for tonight, and we'll turn off the ticker on the side. Hopefully we have sound. I'm trying to see if we get sound on any of these cars. That would be nice. Gotta love, whenever you start anew. Yep, I hear cars.
Hey, all right.
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
I was scared we're gonna have to make engine noises ourselves, and then you could do the pit crew.
I was ready for it. I was ready to do it.
You're ready to do it? Well, Charlotte Motor Speedway, 4 turns here, 1.45 miles around here, 200 laps total tonight. Have a look at the weather. 76 degrees, and look at that track temperature, 78 degrees, and it will get cooler as that sun does go down, but that means extra grip in the track.
Oh, This track is going to get grippy in a hurry. This track is going to be fun to drive. It's going to have 2 lanes, maybe at sometimes even 3 lanes of green flag racing all the way around the track. And Ryan, I know you love to see it. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight, watching these guys figure out just how wide they can make these cars, especially going into these 20-degree bank turns.
Yeah, I was actually able to join the fellas on Monday night for a few laps in the trucks. It was a lot of fun. I met my biggest opponent, which was the wall out of 4. So that is one we're going to have to watch here, because that wall out of 4 is notorious here. and it definitely ate my car up. And then I parked it because it was like 5 laps down. I just called it a day.
Yeah, sadly I couldn't make that truck race. Really wanted to, but man, I was just exhausted beyond words. And then to have to put everything together, it wasn't happening.
Yeah, I didn't have any faith that you were going to do it. I'm like, I didn't know how tired you were going to be after driving that long in that weather too. So good. I'm just glad you made it here for Thursday, man.
Yep, absolutely. We're ready to crown a champion tonight, no matter what. And I love that we have on the side of the 67 right there is Chuck E. Cheese's addition there to the to Favignano's National Guard U.S. Army Chevy Camaro. After the tussle at Dover, both drivers said they had a lot of fun and there was no hard feelings. So let's get your starting grid going here tonight. On the pole, Leonard Favignano in that 67. On the outside of him is Jason Lance in the 86.
All you, Joe.
Row number 2, on the inside, championship contender Nick Sargent starts position number 3. On the outside of him, the 77 Chevy Camaro of Kyle Carpenter.
Out in row 3, hey, what going on? It's Brandon Buggs in his Strawberry Rails mobile. Next to him is Charles Gray, the Chuck E. Cheese Kill mobile.
Row number 4, Joe Ogle and Nick Gould.
On the inside of row number 5 is a 74 of Ryan Steinhoff. On the outside of him, starting in position number 10, is a 22 of Aviator Alex Reno.
Row 6, Guzman and Johnson.
Row number 7, Rick Evans and Ben Tuttle.
Row number 8 belongs to Isaiah Stevens and Clayton Cyrus.
Row 9, we got Robert Bearder, and that's going to do it.
And I believe we have Wes Graham in the back. Didn't take a qualified time.
That's right.
All right, lights are off of the pace truck. We have 200 laps around this place, waiting for that green flag to go in the air so the 67 can go. Holding them off a little bit longer here. Green flag in the air at Charlotte.
And the green flag flies for the first of 200 laps around this big quad oval track in the heart of the Carolinas. Favignano squarely out front, nowhere to go for everyone behind him. Just follow in line and wait to see what happens. Nick Sargent knows he needs a position, and we got a car going in the inside in the invert field.
And Rick Evans behind them is up the track, taking out the. What is that?
Yep, the 70. All the way across the track into the outside wall. It happened so quick. I saw Ogle all the way down to the bottom. We were trying to figure out what happened there. We're going to back it up and find out as the 70 was involved. I think he just got loose. Looks like it happened to both of them. You got the 55 Ogle. He's already chasing that car, and the 70's doing the same thing here. Wiggles it. That's the death wiggler right there. There's no saving it. Holding on to it right there, and just goes back into traffic. I don't know about that one.
Sucks for the Havoline car of Clayton Cyrus. Got caught up there by the 70.
Yeah, we're gonna watch what happened on board with the 05 of Clayton Cyrus here. Yep, know where you can go. A good job of locking it down, keeping it from going back into traffic. But yeah, that's a lot of damage to that 05. On the right rear. Very interesting. Not sure about that one.
Time to get the flex tape out for the 05. He's going to have to burn one of those two, and the 70. They're both going to have to burn one of those two quick repairs before they're able to get back on track. It is never a good sign when you have to burn your quick repairs so early in the race.
Well, you think it's a matter of just, I don't know, the jitters of the start of the race. I mean, it's a long race. You have to be patient here. But on top of that, maybe a lack of practice, not really understanding the car and track together. I'm not really sure why these guys are getting super loose out of the gate like that, unless they're just going for it.
Well, yeah, you definitely want to go for it, Jeff. Lap 1 of 200 here. Like, it's go time. So,
yeah.
You may as well, full send it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I feel bad for Cyrus there. There's no worse feeling than you're just driving your line and then all of a sudden you just get taken out. It feels bad.
Well, I mean, the other thing you have to think of is, these guys they're having fun. They want to have a good run to the end of the evening, but you can't do it on lap number 3 or 4. You got to go the entire way. It's all out or get out. And for a lot of these guys, they just, at least 2 of them, they simply just try to overdo it on cold tires on an even colder surface. It does not grip make. You need to wait and get the heat going in those tires before you can start making those big moves.
That's an excellent point. That's exactly what happened. Just cold tires. Turn 2, you're already spinning,
I'm not sure what happened to Nick Gould there originally. They're talking about it on the radio a little bit. He doesn't even know what happened. I'm going to try and replay it myself.
Does he have damage?
I'm not sure.
Started 8th, right now in 7th, so he's gained a position. I see no damage on that car.
Was it Nick Gould or someone who got loose there?
That was Joe Ogle that got loose in the 55.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, and he seems to be okay there. Joe Ogle not using a fast repair. So lights are off on the pace truck. Will be green flag racing next time. Bye. And maybe we'll get some momentum going here for the night. Definitely don't want, sporadic cautions to start this race off when you're trying to get your mindset into 200 laps here.
No, they haven't been able to find a rhythm yet. Like two laps on cold tires when they were side by side. No one's found a rhythm. No one's even feels comfortable yet. Go ahead, Joe.
No, you're absolutely right. And now is the time to find the rhythm of the night. As the song goes, now is the time to slow down, and start making your moves, start plotting, because slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Keep an eye out here. This will be the first Geico restart zone of the night. First restart instead of going on the flag bin. So the 67, the control car, holding them off a little bit longer here.
Green.
And green flag in the air. But 67 waited really waited there to go.
Tried really hard to bunch everyone up behind him and make them miss the jump a little bit, and it worked. He got a huge jump on the rest of the field. Low line seems to be the preferred side, but a couple guys want to try it high early, see if they can start making moves on the leads, on the wins leader on the track.
They are 2x2 going around this track right now, and you don't want to stick 2x2 for too long because you're going to start eating your tires up, especially on that bottom line, trying to keep it out of the guy on top of you there. Giggity. So you're going to want to, they're going to want to figure this out and get in line as soon as they can to save their tires, because tires are going to be, like every race, going to be an issue.
Still 2x2. From Sargent on back, and now they're starting to figure it out a little bit. And they will slide into a single file lane. And the next battle behind them, Ryan Steinhoff in the 74, battling the 14 of Nick Gould in that Tim Hortons Chevy Camaro.
Tim Hortons, of course, Civ Ryan's favorite coffee and donut stop in the morning, a great Canadian export.
Yeah, nothing against Nick Gould, but I want to see him wrecking a great ball of fire and get punted off the track and park the car for the night. Nothing against Nick, just everything against Tim Hortons.
Wait, you mean Tim Hortons is not? You're Canadian. You're genetically destined to love Tim Hortons.
That's like saying that you guys are genetically destined to love McDonald's.
We are genetically destined to love McDonald's. We're Americans.
Tim Hortons sucks. Everyone knows. Any true Canadian knows it. But enough about my hatred of a local franchise. Let's stay on topic with the racing here. We're going on board with Ryan Steinhoff. You get a nice view there of Austin Johnson, who's peeking down low of him. But he's going to have Guzzi in front of him there in the 26 Pinkmobile. But yeah, good races so far. Yeah, never mind. Who was that? Ben Tuttle?
Ben Tuttle.
No, the Southwest machine of Ben Tuttle.
Yeah, we'll find out what happened here in just a few moments, but a lot of damage to the front end of that car. And we're going to back it up. Looks like he had some help, maybe?
Nope.
Loose, yep. Loose, and then right in front of Cleveland. Cleveland checked up there. Nothing really he can do there. But just kind of hang on. and help the
Yeah, that's a
16
tough-
into the wall.
That is a tough break for him. It looks like he just got on the accelerator a little too hard, spun the tires coming off of turn number 4. Although he's able to keep it off the wall, the bad news is spinning those tires will lose all that grip underneath you, and you will end up going sideways, around, and in Tunnel's case, into the wall.
So
Ryan,
far,
was that your keyboard?
Oh, I know. I'm doing my best Joe Cortez impression.
You're doing your best Joe Cortez now. I'm impressed.
So far, 2 cautions for the night.
Yep.
Hopefully, we will figure it out. There's the keyboard.
Yeah, it's definitely happening a lot more frequent than I thought it would be in the beginning.
I think these guys, if they were racing in those trucks on Monday, I mean, Joe's talked about it a lot on recent broadcasts of the independent rear suspension or double wishbone suspension on the rears there compared to the trucks. So it's definitely a different feeling car than those trucks. And I think we're seeing a lot of guys I talked about it before with, you don't want to hit that wall out of 4. So they're trying their best to keep it out of that wall, but then in turn they're getting loose and wrecking the other way.
Yeah, and again, these independent suspensions, they act completely differently. They act completely differently than those trucks out there, and they're going to act completely differently than the cars they're planning on running next season as well. So on one hand, it's a completely different experience getting into these Cup cars, but on the other hand, if you're going to make a move, if you're going to make some noise, tonight is the night to do it. You have one last shot. How does the song go? Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
That is correct.
Bars. Good bars.
I came loaded for bear tonight. I am spitting fire all night long.
We have completed 11 laps so far. We'll be completing 12 here before too long. Should have the lights off on the pace truck this time by, which will make us green flag next time. So we realistically restarting on lap 13 of, again, 200.
And look who's now in positions number 2 and 3. Your competitors for the championship, Nick Sargent and Brandon Bruggs, who still owed a hot dog by a certain Mr. Cortez, but we're not going to get into that right now. Wes Graham, your points leader, currently in 16th after having to start from the back of the field. So now we've got a lot of stuff going on right now, but all eyes are up front as we try to figure out who's going to start making those moves to try to keep Wes the mess behind and hopefully play spoiler to his championship.
Okay, that's interesting.
What's that?
It's not that interesting.
No, it wasn't giving me the right data.
Oh, that is interesting.
No, now it is. It's working now. Weird. It wasn't working for the 88. Yeah, he's not showing up in our stuff here.
Oh, is
He's
that
the
because
ghost
maybe he
card
didn't take a qualifying?
Maybe that's the reason why.
Because I did check Joel Brown too, because he didn't show up on the starting grid.
Nope,
No,
he's
Joel
there.
Brown works.
88 might be because he took a pit start.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. We get no data from him.
He is the ghost driver tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Driver X, if you will.
Well, I was wrong. We're going to be probably restarting on lap 14 here. I thought it would be a little quicker yellow than this.
Did you extend it, Tony, or what's going on? Or were you just that impatient?
No extension for me.
Oh, we're just that impatient. Okay.
Pace speed here is like 11 miles an hour. It just feels like it takes forever.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for some more yellow flag racing. I'm ready to watch more and more parade laps.
That makes one of us, Joe.
At least one. That's all you need.
At least one. Yeah, that's all you need. Army of one.
So as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, Leonard Foderero, your wins leader, is trying to pick up one last win here on the season. He's mathematically eliminated from the championship, being 75 points away. So at this point, he's simply running for pride. He's running for fun. He's running to continue the legacy, but he's got a hornet's nest behind him who all want to start making those moves to try to pick up the last trophy of the season.
Yeah, and even if you can't win the season, everybody wants to win the race. Everybody wants to come out as the leader here. So just because they might be out of the points doesn't mean that they don't want this win.
Pace truck down and away. 67 is the control car, leading them over here to the Geico restart zone. They're in it now. Green flag in the air.
And once again, Foderero bunches them up in the U.S. Army Chuck E. Cheese machine, but he's got a whole bunch of drivers behind him. The 81 all over the back bumper of Foderero, gives him a little kiss going into turns 1 and 2. Boat Boy trying to get them strawberry rails moving forward.
And look at Nick Sargent on the outside fighting the outside lane versus the inside of the 81 there. Nick Sargent and the 81 definitely battling for points tonight, and they know they got to get everything they can on these restarts.
Ooh, it's getting a little dicey back there. We had a little bit of contact there between Alexander Reno and I don't know who else that was, but it's getting a little dicey back here. Isaiah Stevens is also falling back at a rapid pace, and he might just be trying to save his tires. But there is a lot of action going on back here, and hopefully they can keep it clean. As you see Wes Graham falling in behind Reno, and you look into the inside, he was thinking about it, but he's going to stay behind the Great Wall of Reno for now and try and make his pass when he can.
That Kansas City Southern Ford Mustang riding like an iron horse on rails right now, doing everything he can to keep the 88 in his rearview mirror, because he knows once Wes the Mess passes him, he may not see him again tonight.
But look at this up front, Sargent and Bugs still battling it out.
Battle of the pink wheels.
Yeah, the pink wheels and the pink car.
Bugs is trying to get those pink wheels up forward. He wants to get these strawberry rails running as hard as he can, trying to get a nice little red streak going to the front. The problem is, the more he fights with Sargent on the outside, the more they sidedraft one another, the harder it's going to be for them to make that move and get going to start challenging Foderero for the lead. They continue to trade 1 and 2 up. Looks like now they're going to get in line. And once they get in line, then they can start catching the leader.
And look at this battle here. This is going to be between Jason Lance, Nick Gould, and Kyle Carpenter, and Zachary Guzman behind him, as we can see riding on board here with Jason Lance. Lance is currently in 7th place right now, trying to work on that Tim Hortons car of Nick Gould. And Gould's got a pretty good run there on the outside, though.
And that's going to open the window there for the 21 of Johnston to jump to the outside of the 26.
You know what I miss about living in Ohio, Ryan?
What's that?
A nice big cup of Tim Hortons coffee and a donut early in the morning, especially when they have to roll up the rim to win. Did they have that up there? Do you guys have that promotion in Canada?
Are you asking if Tim Hortons has the biggest promotion? Yes, they do. Yes, they do have roll up the rim. Yeah,
that's my favorite thing. Every time it happened in the States, I'd always go and.
Pretty sure it's gone digital now. You have to do it like it's like an app on your phone. It's not. You don't actually roll up the rim anymore.
What?
I know. This is what I'm saying, Joe. It's gone downhill, man. Anyways, back to racing. Jeff, where are we at?
Watching Johnston here. He has been making his way forward, looking at a 12th start, and he's in the 8th position right now. And he just cut right around the 26. Gets a little tight. Had to jump out of the throttle there, but now he's got his sights set on the 77.
Like a rocket sled on rails, he is trying to drive this thing as hard as he can, start moving up forward, trying to get in position and maybe get a chance to start fighting for position among your leaders. Foderero still in first, but look who's on his bumper. Boat Boy has entered the chat.
Yeah, Bugs is having a very strong drive tonight, getting around Nick Sargent there. Maybe Sargent just gave it up and said, you know what, let's both live to fight another day. And because if we keep fighting, Favignano's just going to run away with it.
I saw a bobble come out of that 67 there off of that turn. So maybe fighting a loose race car right now. Hopefully not what he wants to do right when he's trying to, establish a lead. Because that thing has fallen, and he has not been able to get away from that 81.
You know, and what's the hardest part for these guys is this is very similar to iRacing. So they can't adjust they can only adjust two things on these cars. They can adjust the brake bias and they can adjust the steering ratio, and that's it. They're stuck with these cars. Everyone's stuck with the same car effectively. So if you don't figure out how to make this work for you, you can't tweak it, you can't adjust it. No wedge, no air pressure changes for these guys. You have to figure out the car that you're in and hope that you can make it run all the way through to the end.
And shout out there to Favignano. I like that he added the Chuck E. Cheese thing to his scheme tonight. He was a really good sport last week, and he's a good sport this week. And that's I like that little nod to Chuck there. That's pretty cool.
It was an incredible finish there at Dover we saw last week. And watching right here, the 48 of Sargent on the move. Started towards the front, fell back a little bit, but now he's starting to get that pace. And now we're seeing the difference between guys that are saving their tires and who are not. And going back to talking about the steering ratio, guys like, say, Favignano more than likely is running a 16-1 ratio at this track. And the reason you want that is because you want the least amount of wheel in this thing at all times. That's how you save your tires. That's what separates in fixed racing like this, guys in the top 10 and guys in the very back. It can be as simple as steering ratio.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jeff. I remember when you told me to mess with mine. I think we were at Talladega or Daytona, one of the super speedways. And you're like, yeah, no, bump it down like this, and it completely changed how I drove. You're way smoother on the wheel because you're not jittery back and forth. And like Joe said at the start, smooth is fast. So any little things they can change, anything they can do to get an advantage, they're going to do.
And again, tonight's the time to do it as we watch the number 74 of Ryan Steinhoff, the NCR Chevrolet Camaro, currently sitting in the middle of this thing right now. These guys are working hard. These guys in the middle, don't count them out yet. And last week, he had an incredible run until we started seeing accidents after accidents. So far, only 2 caution flags tonight. But will we see more? The answer is yet to be seen.
This is all the way back here in 18th, but we got a whole group of cars back here battling pretty hard. That's from Ogle on back. And Joel Brown, he's trying to get around Joel Brown right now. But this is the most grouped up section group that I see out here.
Isaiah Stevens making that pass on the inside line. Let's see if he can complete it. He does so, passes that Mountain Dew mobile. And just a quick little update for those who are paying attention. Wes Graham now up to 8th place. He's doing his best Carlos Sainz impression from the Formula One race, just working his way all the way through the field. And he's up to 8th place, and I don't think he's going to remain there. I think he's going to be catching Carpenter.
I'm watching the 26, Zachary Guzman, and had a shaky start to the season for sure. But these last few races, he's been up there in the top 10 fighting. I think he's really improved as a driver this season, 100%.
A lot of these guys have improved as a driver, not only in this season, but from season number 1 when we first started this league and we first started putting it on the air. These guys have made some incredible bounds up and through this field as well. These guys have really made an incredible difference. Their driving is better. They're making smarter decisions on the track. If you go back and watch some of the old races that Jeff and I did, that Ryan and I did even a long time ago, it's a night and day difference on how much these guys have improved, how much these guys have become better over time. And, now I would argue that some of them would be able to rival some of the best drivers in the iRacing sim.
Team Favignano getting really squirrely there. So he's definitely still fighting that car off of turn 4, it looked like. We'll have it right on board with him.
And there's only three certainties in life: death, taxes, and Fodorero up front and clean air running his line. Because he is doing just that. He's about a second ahead of Bugs there. We did see Bugs catch up to him, but Fodorero just too fast. But what we've seen out of Fodorero though is he usually he hammers down. And we saw at Dover last week that he ran out of his tires a little too quick. And but I think it's a good strategy. Ooh, that got a little scary there. Nice save.
Yeah, he's been doing this every other lap, it seems. So he's pushing the car quite a bit. But you can just see how loose these things are getting. And I think a lot of the other guys are struggling with that as well. Hence the reason we're seeing that drop. The 70 car down on pit road. Tony?
Yeah, I believe he's coming down pit road just to kind of clear the front stretch for these guys going by.
Okay, 10-4.
Little drive-through penalty. Not really, just a drive-through, let everyone go. I like it.
Smart play by the 13. He will be rewarded for that, I'm sure, later on. But going back to Fodorero, coming off of turns 2 and 4 is some of the hardest places because they take completely different approaches. On turn number 2, the wall just comes out of nowhere, and you have to figure out a way to gently ease up into it. If you put too much hammer into it, you go straight to the wall. If you don't put enough hammer into it, you're going to get past quickly. Turn 4, completely different performance. Because it is that longer sweeping edge, it makes you want to lull yourself into the false sense of security. You want to feel like, all right, that wall's not coming for a while. I got plenty of time. It doesn't work that way. If you put too much hammer on that one, you will go spinning. And I think Fodorero is learning that the hard way as he is trying to work really hard to make sure he does not make an error, a mistake on this race.
We're riding on board here with Charles Gray, but I'm watching from the blimp here, Jeff, and Bugs is kind of slowing down this pack behind him. You can kind of see in the intervals and the relatives there. You can see right there, they're starting to bunch up again here. So I think Bugs is doing a little bit of tire saving right now, just being nice and patient. Bugs is really patient that way. But we'll see if the guys behind them are as patient as well.
Yeah, and that's a good play right now. You know, things have settled down. We're not getting those cautions. We're running into a green flag run as long as, we can have it. And yeah, conservation is going to be a thing, but you can tell he's doing that, but so is everybody behind him. So he's setting the pace for that group.
But Jason Lance has a feeling that, you know what, track position is going to matter. So he slots himself there in 4th place. But how about Wes Graham passing that Tim Hortons garbage mobile up to 7th place right now? Graham on a bit of a tear, and he's going to be shortly on the back bumper of Nick Sargent.
Ryan, what is your donut of choice? I have to know.
From there, Honey Cruller.
No, obviously the Honey Cruller is the greatest thing that Tim Hortons makes, period.
Yes. No,
I'm curious, of all of the national brands available in the great nation of Canada, do you have a preferred donut?
We did have Krispy Kreme make an appearance up here for like 4 or 5 years. So that was kind of special. Like it was lined up down the street when they got here. So that was kind of cool getting a Krispy Kreme donut. Those things are, holy shit, they're pretty good.
And you see how hard the 88 is charging the corner compared to the other guys. The other guys kind of just holding that middle lane there and rolling through the corner that way, saving that tire. But the 88's using his up right now. He's just taking the corner a lot more aggressively than these guys. But you see how much more corner speed, entry speed he has on them.
And as we just watch them make that turn, you just see how much better they're running. He's running that turn, how much better he's working in traffic as they come up to lap traffic, and the 26 goes spinning in front of the start finish line. Caution number 3 out in the field.
And that's a lot of damage to that right front.
Moment. Sorry, Jeff.
That's all right. A lot of damage to the right front of that car. We'll find out what happened here. And it sounds like he got loose. Yep, he got loose off the corner here. And then tried to save the car. Did a good job of keeping it straight here. But then, straight into the wall. And there's really not much you can do at that point. And then just hold on for the ARCA brake moment that might be coming here shortly. There it
Robert
is. Yep.
Like a missile.
Wow, we almost didn't get that one on camera. It was so fast.
I want to ride on board with Robert Webb.
Has a lot of damage to the 91 as well. After seeing that, so we'll ride on board and see what they saw or did not see. Car's up in the wall there. There's a little bit of smoke. He's out of the gas, but just couldn't get the car wood up.
It always looks worse from the outside cameras. That's why I always try and go on board and just be like, man, he had no time to react there. Yeah. Unfortunate there for Robert Webb.
It is, but everybody's on pit road, Tony.
Yep, we've got everybody coming down the pit road. We saw on Monday these guys were pushing it to about 50 laps. We're at 40 now, so this is right in line. We're looking at 4 or 5 stops to complete this race, and I think everybody's going to take 4 tires and full fuel every single stop tonight.
Everybody gets into their stalls without any drama. And it's going to be a matter of just who decided to keep that windshield tear off and who didn't. The 88's down and away. The 81, it's going to be close, but the 67 is going to beat the 81. Side by side. Look, that was real close there between Cleveland and Joel Brown. And everybody else. But the 74, a bad stop for him. He's going to be the last one off. Not sure what happened there.
So 4 virtual Goodyear tires and a full tank of virtual Sunoco racing fuel for all of these drivers, and they are down and away. No changes up front except Lance and Carpenter and Gray getting a big run over Nick Sargent.
Well, 3 cautions tonight. Was that the third one?
That was the third one.
That was the third one. All right.
Yep, 3 cautions, and that was the 26 Guzman. Heartbreaker for him. He was just having such a good run there. And, we saw the best out here leading the race, the 67, and how difficult it was getting for him to maintain the car in the corner or off the corner. I think the same thing happened there to the 26. He just couldn't get it going straight again, and that thing just shot straight into the outside wall.
Yeah, I feel for these guys. That corner is treacherous out of 4.
Treacherous turn 4.
Treacherous turn 4. I couldn't get a handle on it in those trucks, let alone these things. So, yeah, very tricky corner.
Well, there's a bump going into turn 1. I don't know about turn 4, why cars are getting so upset out of there. But 1, you have that big bump on the high line, and then the car sets down before you can get back to the throttle again. But we've seen a lot of guys running. You can run this track almost pretty much, full open for a couple laps at least. But we've seen guys, just kind of taking it easy. The car seems like it's getting tight, and they're having to just kind of chase it.
Yeah, and that's what will happen as the tires heat up on this cold track. Is sometimes too much grip is not a good thing. Those cars will tighten up. They will do more. They will jerk more than you want them to, and as a result, you have to use the throttle a little bit to control these cars and make sure they go the right direction. Too much throttle, and again, you're going into the infield. Too little throttle, and you are going into the wall. Not a good look at the end of the day.
We've only completed 42 laps of 200 tonight. It is the championship 300 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we will crown a champion tonight. The one we're going to be keeping an eye on needs the night of his life, a good run, but no matter what, it's probably more than likely going to be the 88 that's going to take the championship so far, but the battle behind them continues, and that's the 48 of Nick Sargent, and you got the 81 of Brandon Buggs up there in second, wanting to get it done as well. So they're all chasing those positions, second and third, and it's gonna get interesting to watch.
We'll see if Graham can hold it together and keep a good spot here to secure his championship points. But either way, enough about that. I'm more concerned on who's going to take the win tonight. Is it going to be Fodorero? Is it going to be the 81? Or are we going to look at Carpenter, Lance, any of those guys? I think there's a lot of guys up here running in the top 5 that have a good shot at it.
Oh, absolutely. You cannot count out any of those drivers. They're all very talented. They've all shown their mettle this year. And, you know, with not even a quarter of the race done from here, we've still got plenty of racing to go for these guys to showcase what they've got in those virtual ponies.
The pace truck dives down, giving the 67 the control to the restart zone. Restart zone, green flag in the air. 81 almost jumped to 67 a little bit there and caught himself and backed off so he won't get a penalty. And it's a whole hornet's nest behind him right now trying to figure it out.
They are stacked 2 by 2 around turns 1 and 2. Favignano continuing to lead, but now everybody fighting for desperately needed real estate. Everybody fighting for position as we got guys even going down low, trying to make it work towards the back.
Yeah, Bugs losing a couple spots there on the restart. And Robert Beard are having some troubles here. He's holding up Boston Johnson. But yeah, you see there with Bugs, he's now down to 4th place, losing 2 spots there. And we got some battles going on here. Clayton Cyrus making the move down on the inside of Alex Reno.
Lots of action all over the place right now. But yeah, everything changed on that restart. And it was the 81 is in trouble. I think he's got a black flag for the jump of the start.
Tony, can you provide any insight on that?
You are correct. You got a black flag for jumping the start there. That's going to be painful because they're going to give him a 40-second hold.
Oh,
wow.
Well, that is the death sentence effectively. That could basically ruin his night. He's going to need a little bit of luck now to get back on the lead lap and ultimately get back on this race. Horrible, horrible way to go down. You never want to see that.
Well, Bugs is no stranger to this type of adversity. He'll stick around. He'll keep battling, and if he can remain, you know, that first car lap down, he'll get his lucky dog back. There's going to be some more cautions tonight.
I stand corrected. It looks like it's just a stop and go.
Okay. So do you think he'll go lap down there, Tony?
Absolutely. He is a lap down right
there
now.
he goes. Yeah, right there.
But he's also the lucky dog.
Yeah, his night's not over by any means. Pull the Civ Ryan there, jumping the gun on the start there. I've been known to do that in a certain league.
Well, they added the Geico restart zone, the restart zones in general. In the real world with NASCAR, that is absolutely prevalent. In iRacing, that's nothing that's been there for a very long time, and they recently added it. So a lot of these guys still getting used to what it's like to be the second car. You cannot pass the leader anytime under yellow, even by a nose. And we saw the 67 hold them off a little bit. The 81 started going before the 67 took off. That's how you get the penalty.
And that is a tough penalty to serve, but all it takes is one yellow flag and he's back in it. And we've seen Bugs. He knows how to work his way through the field, like Wes Graham, who is now fighting for a top 5 position. He knows exactly how to climb that salmon ladder and ultimately make some noise at the end. So don't count him out, sports fans. I know you, chat. I know you are rooting for him. He is your favorite. But don't count him out yet. He's definitely still got some wheel left underneath him.
Let's scram up to 3rd place.
That was an amazing move he made right there off of turn.
Was it ever?
Right in turn 3.
Unreal.
He wants to win this race. I mean, he knows he's going to win this championship, but he wants to win this race as well. It would be much more special. And this has been the season for Wes. His previous seasons, you know, he could sneak a win in there or whatever, but this one he's been just so dominant, and everybody thinks the 67 has been the car to watch all season, but man, honestly, that 88 is right there with him.
Yeah, Wes Graham showing his years and years of iRacing experience, and he's raced in the NIS series, and he's no stranger to ovals. I'm sure he's probably getting sick of ovals. He's been doing it for so long. But, man, you can show that where that experience is paying off, and I can't believe it. What an absolute crazy story to start from the pits at that green flag to now 3rd place.
Well, I'm watching Charles Gray here, last week's winner, and it was a very similar situation. We're seeing it right now. He's cutting that lead ever so slightly on the 67, and he's now down to a half a second on Favignano. what we saw at Dover before they made contact, and the 87 ultimately won that race, the 67 of Leonard Fodorowski, and I'm not even mad about that, man. That was so much fun, and we heard all of that in the post-race, but here they are again, similar situation. The 87 running down that 67.
Oh man, Jeff, there's some action going on here between Jason Lance and Nick Sargent and Nick Gould. Right here. There's some racing going on back here as Jason Lance trying his best to get around that Nerdsmobile. And I was watching there at the last restarts there when Nick Sargent was second place. I would notice he was really like holding himself back almost into third place there. Makes sense. Bug showed why you wanted to do that, and I was gonna comment, but I went, no, I bet he's just trying to avoid a black flag. So smart on Nick Sargent to do that, and he's gonna stay up in sixth place. But Joel Brown on the outside, Jeff, with a good run.
I was about to set call out my guy, Joel Brown, with those beautiful flowing locks in the 43 Garnier Fructis Ford Mustang, making some big moves out here on the field, starting to make that green car known to everybody out here. Currently sitting in 7th, one position away. Oh, big wiggle out there, and that position could be short-lived.
Watching Fodorero here up front, trying to manage those tires. He knows the 87's moving forward, and so is the 88 of Graham. If we go to a blimp camera, you're going to be able to see this gap a little bit more and just how much the 88 is making on the 87 every single lap. You can see he's just ever so slightly cutting into these two. He wants these two to battle it out so he can take the lead. That's what he wants.
Yeah, Fodorero slowing down a touch. You can see in the left of your screen there, 0.4 seconds ahead of Chuck, but you're seeing that drop to 0.38, and it's going to continue to drop as Charles slowly catches him here.
Slowly but surely, and it may be just a matter of time before Charles Gray reels him in, and we have a repeat of last week's finish. Again, Fodorero is notoriously hard on these cars. He burns those tires up hard, and he definitely makes this car work as hard as it can every time he's out there, sometimes to his detriment. So Gray may be, if he can play it smart, if he can let Fodorero burn himself out, he may not have to do a whole lot of work to get that Chuck E. Cheese machine in position number 1.
Fodorero still holding some nice pace there, though, as he hasn't completely dropped in Charles Gray. But I want to get perfect, Jeff. I was going to highlight this. There's some still side-by-side action between. We'll catch up with these guys again. Jason Lance on the bottom there, Joel Brown, and this is going to be your battle for 7th place. And they're side by side going around this track, and Kyle Cleveland sticking his nose in there. He's saying, player 3 has entered the battle. And he's going to go to the bottom and force Lance to the outside. And we're going to see if Cleveland there can make that pass. He can't. Just not enough momentum out of 4 as they're coming on the front straight here. And Joel Brown's got some good pace, though. He's actually catching Nick Sargent here as we ride on board with him.
Nick Sargent in that Nerds machine knows he's got to have the best race of his life and hope something happens to Wes Graham if he wants to win the championship. Right now, sitting in 7th, not the best place for him to be, almost 8th, as now the 43 comes around of Brown comes around, trying to get that position away from him, and even more competition behind him.
Yeah, they are 2 by 2. He has got Joel Brown beside him, and then Cleveland and Lance behind them are also side by side. So this is the very tight pack of racing here. And yeah, I don't know who's going to come out on top of this one.
I think it's going to be 74.
I think so. Oh, it's 74 out of nowhere.
Yeah, Steinhoff just cracked into the top 10 right there. While these guys are doing some hard racing, he was able to catch them pretty quickly, and Johnston in tow. So let's talk about the draft. It definitely matters here at a track like Charlotte, and we're seeing that. We're so used to seeing the other tracks we've seen in the last couple of weeks that didn't utilize the draft so much, but Charlotte really does, and you can tell.
Well, Well, Charlotte, like the other cookie cutter tracks, is a track where aero matters. You definitely have to fight not only with a clean car, but you also have to fight within the draft. Whereas other tracks take it out. When we go to these cookie cutter tracks owned by SMI, draft comes into play. You have to be able to play in line. You have to be able to time your moves. If you don't, all that air hitting you when you go out of line is going to act like a big old anchor, and it's just going to suck you all the way back and take you out of contention.
77 to Kyle Carpenter just took that position from Wes with no problem. And now he's going to be charging forward, but as it seems, Fodorero is able to maintain the gap he has put on Gray. Gray had it down to about a half a second there, or about 0.3 there for a little while, but now he's starting to increase on him.
But I also think that was a strategy play by Charles Gray. He knows how hard Fodorero is moving out there. He knows how hard he's working that car. So as a result, I think he maybe be saying, okay, I'll let you run, because if I fight you now, we're both going to have no tires. I'll wait till you have no tires. And having raced you in this position before, I'll see you when you burned up your car.
Well, position 6 backwards, they're still battling back here as Joel Brown's got a bit of ways away from them, but they are still, they've juggled positions. Joel Brown's currently in 6th. Jason Lance able to get up in front of him, but now we got, as we run on board with Jason Lance there, but behind them, they are battling for 8th and 9th place as well. And he starts to the inside there of Joel Brown. Let's see if he has enough grip here around turns 1 and 2 to clear him. Just phenomenal racing going on back here, Jeff.
Yeah, and there's the bump there from the 43. They're doing some bump drafting action here. They're doing crossovers. This is where all the action is right now on the track.
What's cooler than being cool, guys? Say it with me. Icy cold. And he is showing why he deserves to run that polar bear on the side of his machine, now in position number 6. But Brown will not go quietly into that good night. He's telling his crew, it's his crew, it's flow time. And I've got a bunch of guys behind me who want to get this flow moving forward.
Ooh, the 11 very loose off of turn number 2. Gets it going straight again. And I think these guys like the 74 and the 21 kind of want to back out here, kind of go in conservation mode here. Let these guys run their stuff out. There's a lot of hard racing happening right here for 6th.
Yeah, Jeff, ever since you pointed out watching that 74, I've been watching him. He definitely has pace on these guys, and he's just been unfortunately stuck behind 2 lanes of 2x2 action. So he hasn't been able to move anywhere, but he definitely has some pace. And I'm seeing, like you can see right here, he's got a bit of a run out of turn 2 as he's going to try and make that move to the inside. Is he going to stick his nose in? No, he backs out of there. Says, I'll get him on another corner here, especially coming out of 4 here. He doesn't want to get too crazy because he knows he's got pace. He's got some speed. So I think he's just going to try and pick another spot to pass Cleveland.
Yeah, but have a look right behind you there. He's down a lap, but he's got pace. And that's the 81 of Brandon Buggs there, scored currently 18th. As he is a lap down, the first one a lap down, so he's in contention for the lucky dog.
And I don't hate this move by Buggs. I don't hate the fact that he is running as hard as he can, as hard as he wants on this track. I don't hate that move at all. I think if you're a lucky dog, you've got to do everything you can to get yourself back on the lead lap, because there's no guarantee a caution flag is going to come out at the most opportune time for you.
Yeah, really, he's just got to stay ahead of Guzman there, which he's doing a nice job of. So that's who he's really battling for the lucky dog spot. Actually, Guzman's not even on the same. Guzman's 2 laps down, so never mind. Buggs is comfortably in lucky dog. He's just got to make sure if there is a wreck, no incident points. Oh, Jeff, Steinhoff going very slow on the front straight. Isaiah Stevens had to avoid him. Steinhoff going very slow right now. Not sure what happened there, but that was almost a massive collision there between him and Guzman. But he drops all the way down to 14th. We were talking about him too. Drops all the way down to 14th after he was peaking at that pack in 6th, 7th, and 8th position. So
he's in the wall.
Unfortunate. Yeah, he is. He's struggling with that car right now.
Something might have either broken on that car or he just might have had a little too much damage on it. Nonetheless, that NLR machine is going to need some TLC when it comes down to pit road. He is dropping hard and he is dropping through the field. Something is broken on that car.
Yeah, and you wonder if, maybe if you smacked the wall, it went down on power. That's always a possibility, or you broke a toe link. That's really making the car hard to drive, and you have to back off the throttle so you don't spin it. And we're seeing the difference there because he had so much speed, and yeah, he's in 15th.
Yeah, that's what happened to me on Monday night, Jeff, is I hit the wall. Didn't think I hit it too bad, but I went down on power, thought I could stay out there and not go laps down, but they eventually caught me. So he's going to want to get that car taken care of. It's either, yeah, front toe or maybe some engine damage. That wall, man, is unforgiving.
It is absolutely unforgiving, but that's, if you're gonna have a problem, now's the time to have those problems, because as we talked about at the beginning of this race, you don't win it on lap 73, you don't win it on lap 96, you don't win it on lap 142, you run it on lap 200. So this gives you plenty of time to get back, get recollected, come down pit road as everybody else does, and then start making your way back up front. If he can recover from this, he may still have a good night altogether.
You see the difference in how these guys are attacking the track. The 77 really jump out the throttle, but then just kind of feathering it in and out through 3 and 4. We saw a lot of guys roll in the center a lot more than doing that, but by feathering that throttle, we're seeing just huge gains from the 77 right now to the 87.
So Kyle Carpenter on a bit of a tear, as he was able to pass Graham a few laps ago, and he sets his sights on Charles Gray in the P2 in that Chuck E. Cheese mobile as we ride on board with him. Hey Jeff, what's the track temperature doing right now? Are we is it cooling down?
79 degrees, so it's about the same.
About the same.
Yep, 75 degrees outside, but 79 on the track. So I mean, that's really low for a track temp, so you got to be happy with the grip that you're getting out of that. But the winds are south at 8 miles an hour, and that does upset the car a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. And that's maybe why we were seeing some guys get a little loose there out of 4 early on. That wind might be a factor.
Foderero's been really struggling to make a 2-second gap on Gray. Oh, I say that, and he just did it finally. But I think that's because these guys are battling back here, and this is going to be heating up right here around the 87.
Yeah, these guys know track position is very important, because we could get a caution at any point. You want to make sure you get every single position you can get while we're green. And I don't think Carpenter is gonna waste any time if he can help it.
No, and I saw the 87 getting really loose off of 4 into the tri-oval and lost a lot of space, or a lot of speed out of that. So we'll see if it happens again to him. And 77 even loose off of 4. So it looks like all these guys up front that are, running as hard as they are all getting loose off of turn 4. And, we saw that crash out of the 26 coming off of turn 4 as well. So I think it's just a matter of once these tires start to go, it's going to get more and more difficult to get any drive off the corner.
Yeah, Jeff, update for you too here. I'm looking at Austin Johnson right now. He was battling for, in that pack earlier, but he is now showing himself down to P13. So he's losing some positions there. I was just watching him on the relative, and he kept going down some spots there. So I don't know if he's having issues with the cars. They both get loose there, him and Orndorff.
Yeah, Orndorff almost bought the farm completely off of turn 4 there. Good thing they got it going straight again with no issues.
Something to consider, guys, as this race goes on. We have winds from the southwest at 10 miles per hour as big trouble now along the back stretch for the 21 machine. Keeps it going the right way, but that hit is going to take its toll.
Oh, it almost gets in the back of Steinhoff there. You know that car took a lot of damage in that wall. Not once, not twice, but 3 times into that wall. So he's going to be struggling with that. Favignano doesn't really care. He's still going forward. And same with Gray. These guys are comfy out front, clean air. These guys are on an island here.
Now, what I was saying was that when you look at the track and its orientation, the winds coming from the southwest at 10 miles per hour will play a part as they start wearing down those tires harder and harder. Now, why do I say that? The southwest corner, what they're driving to around the southwest corner out of turn 3 and into turn number 4, with those gusts coming at you, it gives you a little bit of power boost, and it does make you a lot more wobbly coming off that track as we see Jason Lance get into his pit stall.
Caution comes out.
Steinhoff. Oh, he did a good job saving that car though. Oh man, he got loose and he just Tokyo'd it down the straight, and the other cars did a good job here. Wadia, check out this replay.
Oh wow.
Man.
Might have had some help from the 26 there. Nope, he was just loose. Right in front of him. Chased it. Look at that. There's the contact with the 26.
Did get contact.
And it just holds the brake right here, and the car slides all the way down the back stretch here.
But that is very good. That's what you want to do as a driver. Lock it down, make your car try as predictable as possible. Clayton Cyrus getting around in there. I think he might have touched the wall there.
Oh yeah, he got in the wall. The 05 Cyrus did.
That could have been a lot worse.
All right, so it's definitely going to be time for pit stops. We are on lap 83. Let's hear more from Tony.
Yeah, we're looking at lap 83. We're definitely going to see everybody come down to pit road. That's going to give Bugs a chance to get back on the lead lap here. Jason Lance got incredibly lucky being on the way out of the pits there as the caution was coming out, so he's going to be able to take advantage of that, I think.
And pit road, you see those lights there on the left-hand side. When they turn green, pit road will be open. Well, I say that, and then iRacing doesn't do it.
Or everyone's getting a black flag here.
Yeah, or that.
The entire field gonna get black flagged.
Really strange. It's green on my screen.
We'll take it down to Tony Wilson, who will walk us through the pit stops happening right now.
Taking a look at everybody here, watching to see if anybody's going to take 2. I don't think we will see that tonight. Everybody's going to be smart enough to take 4.
We say that, and we've seen guys try it anyway. But, yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be taking 2 here. Wes Graham, he's the first one down and away, and here's the 67. It's going to be a real close battle between the 77 and 87 there.
Oh, I wonder who got it. That is too close to call.
Yeah, it was way too close. It's showing Kyle Carpenter right now on the timing screen, but that will change next lap. That's all we can do is just kind of wait to see. But Favignano able to maintain his position off of pit road. No mistakes happen in there. And that'll come down to your lucky dog, which is the 81.
He already made his lap back, Jeff. He is now back on lead lap, and the 81 owes a nice thank you to Mr. Ryan Steinhoff for that caution. If there's one driver that was happy to see a caution, it was the 81, because now he's back in it, back on the lead lap, and back to get Chuck Livingston on his hood there up front.
And the 86 car did not get out in time, so he will be shown a lap down.
Oh, I've been there. That sucks.
I was about to say, while that caution flag benefited the 81 of Brandon Bugs, it did not. It definitely hurt the 86 of Jason Lance. Remember, he was the first one to come down for a green flag pit stop right as that yellow flag came out. He did not come back in time, so they're going to swap positions. He's now going to be the lucky dog, and Brandon Bugs gets his move back onto the lead lap.
And if you like that paint that's on a lot of these cars, on especially that 81 car, that Strawberry Rails car, if you like that paint, you're like, hey, how would I do something like that for iRacing? I want something cool for my car. Hey, Tony, who should they hit up?
Can't be done.
No, that's
No.
Tony Wilson there. He's WMD Design on Twitter, does a lot of these amazing liveries you see out here, all custom work. Loves to do rush orders, especially 8 hours before a endurance race that we put on them. But
then race in the race after spending all the practice time painting the car for the race.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. But yeah, shout out to Tony for all the liveries, and go check him out if you want your own custom livery.
Come check me out. Thanks, sir.
Hey, Tony, can you can I ask you a personal favor? That being said,
Sure thing.
for the next exhibition race, my new sponsor, Hebrew National, may need to make an appearance on my hood.
Oh, I've absolutely got you covered on that one, sir.
Attaboy. Because nothing refreshes like the snap of a Hebrew National hot dog, especially as these summer months wane down. Hebrew National, the official sponsor, well, the unofficial sponsor, I should say. They don't give me money yet, but they will. The unofficial sponsor of the Joe Cortez Show.
You know, Joe, you're going to get the biggest hot dog size cease and desist letter in your mailbox one of these days from Hebrew National. They're like, can you not?
Only a matter of time.
When that happens, and I sincerely, one of two things will happen. Either one, I'm going to get the world's biggest hot dog, which would be great, or two, I'm going to get the world's biggest hot dog shaped cease and desist letter, which I would absolutely share. And, it is what it is. But they got free advertising out of it. And we've seen people in chat saying they bought Hebrew Nationals because of the voice of Joe Cortez. What could possibly go wrong?
It's free advertisement.
It's free real estate.
It's a free concert from now on.
And Hebrew Nationals are good hot dogs. I can absolutely say that is the case.
I've never had one.
Oh, they're amazing.
They are
pretty hot dog.
I don't like a lot of hot dogs, but that's a good one. They're very popular to be boiled in beer and then grilled.
Well, all right, you bunch of hot dogs. We're going back green flag racing here.
Let's go racing, you
Let's
bunch of
go
hot
racing.
dogs.
Pace truck is in the pit lane, and Fodorero, your lead car, count out to that Geico restart zone.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now.
Let's go racing, boys.
Oh,
And Danica. Yeah, the 77 spun his tires, or missed a ship there early on. Could not get that car going. This is really bad for the 77 right now. Stuck on the outside.
Steinhoffed it.
Stuck on the outside and nowhere to go out there. He is going to be Cinderella, all dressed up and left at home when it comes time to go to the ball. He's going to be dropped through the field like a stone in a cold, cold pond.
The one that lost a bunch on that was the 88 of Wes Graham. He restarted in the 4th position right behind the 77 of Kyle Carpenter. Couldn't get going, and that got the 88 stuck behind him, and he lost a ton of spots. Currently running 6th.
Sorry for crowding you on that restart, Jeff. I didn't know you were going to do the most amazing impression ever.
Oh, you're all right.
You know what? I think as we come up to lap 100, I think we need to do a throwback. We should do a throwback lap. Let Jeff just go at it.
Oh, I'm good.
We need a Michael Waltrip impression for the last race. No?
Maybe later on, yeah.
Come on. Give the people what we need and what we deserve.
We've slugged through you all season. You owe us this.
He's going, no, I don't. Oh, you guys.
I'm watching this racing right here between these guys. Yeah. This has been crazy right here. And the 81 right now has to be really, really, really patient with these guys because it's so easy to get right to the back bumper and they get caught up in somebody else's mess, especially when you got pace on the guys that don't have it, and then you're utilizing that draft to get around them.
Been listening on the radio, these guys were talking about that shaky restart. They were restarting in first and all the previous restarts, and for some reason on this one, maybe the track's cooled down enough, they were spinning the tires, so that was the issue on that restart.
Okay. Somebody didn't get the memo on what gear they needed to be in, and that really screwed that outside lane up.
Torque is your best friend when your machine has over 700 horsepower in it. Joe Cortez pro tip.
You see here, Mr. Ogle trying to pass that 22 thick 3 wide car, and he's got Bay Area Bugs behind him. And you know Bugs is ready to go. He's on the lead lap. He's back in it, and he wants to pass these cars as Reno gets pushed to the outside there. A touch. And Guzzy going to follow suit. And even Bugs.
Maybe.
Bugs going to go as well.
And there he goes, Boat Boy himself, trying to get those rails back underneath him, trying to get this car running like a Southern, or a Kansas City Southern engine. Can he do it though? Time is still on his side. We're not halfway through yet. We have not seen the cross flags yet. So he's in a good way. All he's got to do is pace himself and work his way through this field, and he could easily win the race. Maybe not championship, but at least have a great showing for the last night.
Riding on board here with Gray. He's got some competition behind him. He's got some fast cars of Brown, Graham, and Sargent right there in that Nerdsmobile. He's trying to hold them off, and you can see that they are fast and ready to pass. But hey, oh, look at this. Wes on the outside of Sargent. Oh, 2x2 racing up here in P3, 4, 5, and 6.
But they've got that roadblock in front of him, Ryan, called Charles Gray. And as we saw last week, he does not like to give up position, not at all. He wants to be able to hold it as long as he can and be able to fight everyone off behind him. But with all four of those cars lined up behind Wes, he may not have a choice.
But Wes Graham doing a nice job getting around Nick Sargent. Sets the sides on Charles Gray. There's some action back here going. Ryan Steinhoff getting, big wreck.
God.
No debris or anything, just a 15 rolling around.
A lot of damage there.
The 22 just penetrated the 74 without consent.
How many cars just whizzed by there without slowing down at all? I saw quite a few there.
You're gonna want to watch the 81 point of view on this one. He barely escaped that one.
Oh yeah, you can tell. Off of turn 4, 55 gets tight, gets into the 74. Round he goes, trying to hang on to it, gets back into the 55 right in front of the 81. 81 to the inside, 22 gets it, and so does the 26.
Oh, man.
A lot of net code action right there between the 74 and 22.
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
On board here with the 81.
Look at this. Look how close
81.
that is. Oh, my God. That, you can't get any closer than that. And maybe he did make some contact there. I don't think he did. Whew.
Incredible racing by the 81 of Bugs. That was just smart. That was just smart driving. That was anticipating what was going on in front of you and in the nick of time finding a way through. That's what makes Brandon Bugs a world-class driver. And that was insane. Well done by Brandon Bugs. Meanwhile, I think Steinhoff and I think at least, if nothing else, Alex Reno may owe Steinhoff a meal after that, It
looks like the 77 of Carpenter is the only one that's going to come down on pit road and take tires. Probably a good idea. I was surprised to see guys up front not come down pit road. I know we were just on pit road not too long ago, but tires are king here, and the 77 definitely knows that. He's going to lose a bunch of positions off of it, but he will be able to easily make those back up when we go green.
Wow, it's been a dramatic race so far. Lots of different storylines. People moving up, people moving out. Cars getting loose. Rick Evans getting his lap back.
One of them back.
How many is he down? 21? No.
Two.
That's Robert Webb. Sorry, that's Robert Webb that's down 21. That wasn't being shady.
Yeah, Steinhoff 3 laps down, Guzman 2 laps down, Rick Evans 1 lap. As they stand.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better finale, guys. You could not ask for a better race among peers and equals, as it looks like some people are coming down to the apron, maybe save some gas in those cars. Interesting move, but I don't disagree with the idea of not coming down pit road right this second. I think right now they just need to keep it real, keep it moving straight, and just make the cars work for their needs. Don't force it. You've got good tires, you've got plenty of fuel. Just keep the tires hot and keep the race going, at this pace, when we go back to green flag racing, we should be at the halfway point.
That's the image from the 26 and the 91 of Webb.
Yeah, Robert Webb, I believe, has gone through 2 fast repairs already.
Yeah, Guzman has one more here, and that's going to be it. Oh, he misses his stall. And so that'll be his fastest repair right there. It's his last one of the night.
I'd have to think the brakes might have been a little bit compromised on that car.
The ABS wasn't kicking in. No, they don't even have ABS.
Yeah, that wheel was in.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine.
I was just, twitch.tv/jfavignano, the chat there. If you're not watching Jeff live on Twitch, what are you doing, YouTube? I know you're listening right now. Go give him a follow. Go give him a sub. But the chat was asking for an update on fast repairs, and I'm gonna oblige. Everybody in the top 8 right now has not used a fast repair. Joe Ogle has used 2. Then going back down the field, we have Jason Lance, Clayton Cyrus both using 1. Orendorf has used both of his. And then we also got Rick Evans used 1. Steinhoff, Guzman, and Webb have all used 2. So that is your fast repair update, sponsored by Oscar Mayer Wiener. Screw you, National.
I was going to say sponsored by Goff IHOP, but
yeah. Goff IHOP. That's one from the endurance race.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We literally spent about 15 minutes in the endurance race debating what you would see at Goff IHOP. Are you live on your YouTube right now?
No.
Oh.
I'm not. I signed a contract with Jeff that says he has exclusive rights to stream here, so I can't go live. It's a pretty strict contract too.
Not to be rebroadcasted in whole or in part without express written consent.
Exactly.
There you go, Tony. Hey Jeff, we should get loud because now we have sound this race.
Yeah, I wish we could.
Oh no?
I don't have that ability.
Oh.
On this track pack, yep.
Okay.
All right, man. It's a certain camera pack, and then I have to sit there for 2 hours and get them all working.
Well, let's stay live then.
We will stay live here.
Can we get medium? Can we get like
we can just shut up and listen to the cars. That's not a problem. It's an option.
Green flag about to fly here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Leonard Favignano, Charles Gray on the front row. You know what time it is, folks. Go ahead and turn up your speakers because you'll need it as we get mild.
Green. Rolling good front. Don't pick up. Keep coming in.
There we go. That's about as loud as we can get there for you. And we have completed halfway. Lots of racing all over the place, but right now, Favignano holding on to the lead, but not by much because Graham's right there.
So Favignano continues to lead. He's got a quarter of a second over Graham. Gray behind him. Sergeant Gould, your top 5. And Wes the Mess, he knows what's on. I think he knows what's on the line, but I think more importantly, he wants the win. He wants to say that he tied the win leader with tonight's win, and that'll give him the season. That will give him the championship. He's already in it right now, but pride is a very powerful motivator.
Some racing going on back here between Joel Brown and Nick Gould as Joel Brown trying to work the outside as he touches the wall there. And you got Isaiah Stevens behind him, but Gould does not have great pace there on that bottom line. Isaiah Stevens is going to be sticking his nose on the outside there as well. But look who's looming in the background. It's Chuck Livingston, boat boy. You'll see him back there. But good battle here. This is going to be your battle for 5th place, 5th and 6th.
Single file around the track at this point. Favignano, Graham, Gray, Sargent, Joel Brown. No big changes in your top 5. Jason Lance now making a big move, trying to ride along the back bumper, or ride along the strawberry rails, I should say, of Brandon Buggs. Those two look like they want to get hooked up, start making some moves to go up front and start trying to challenge these leaders for the win with just past the halfway point.
Not sure what you were looking at, but Buggs is actually behind there of Isaiah Stevens. I think you were confusing him with Nick Sargent there, Joe, in the pink mobile there.
There's a lot of pink cars on here.
It gets confusing, man. We got Joe Ogle here battering.
I hope not.
Please don't pull a Charles Gray. Ooh, shots fired.
Oh.
Zachary Guzman on the inside. Passing Joe Ogle. Or that wasn't Joe Ogle, was it?
That was
57?
Joe Ogle, yes, in the 55 Whataburger car.
That was okay.
So right now, as you see them running, the 88 of Graham is your champion, and it's going to take a lot to take it away from him. And it can't happen feasibly in this race since there are only 22 running cars on the track.
81 made a nice little bump and run move there on Isaiah Stevens. He locked up onto his rear bumper and then dove to the inside there. This is going to be your battle for 7th place as he tries to make it stick on the inside there. 2 yellow cars battling it out. And Isaiah Stevens not ready to give this one up. I'm sure he didn't like seeing that little bump and run move. It wasn't really a bump. It was just he was just right close and got a good run on him.
Well, the 44 was holding him up quite a ways, and well, he gets the pass on the 81 again. So now it's a matter of 81 going, is it worth battling the 44 right now, or do I need to save my stuff for a little bit later on down the road? And he knows that these guys here are burning their stuff up.
So we're sorry, Joe. I was going to say Zachary Guzman is he's going to be in P19, showing 2 laps down. The reason he is up here and going so fast is he's actually on fresher tires than these guys. He's got about a 13 lap advantage on his tires, and that's what you're seeing out of him right now. So he's in the mix up here, but he is actually in P19.
Guys, look at that 88.
Go ahead.
He's reeled him in half second.
But for how long, though, is a $64,000 question. Favignano will run this car until the tires pop, it burns out, the engine's gone. He will push it along the track if he has to. So he's not going to give an inch. He's going to run as hard and as fast and as loud as he can. So Graham reeling him in, I'm not going to think too much about it right this moment. But as we get later in the race, as Favignano starts burning up that car, that's when, if I'm Wes Graham, I'm going to start slowly but surely creeping forward and making my move.
Behind them, we got 81 able to make the pass there on Isaiah Stevens, and he drops back. But you got a battle here of Guzman's actually just kind of working his way through the field right now, as he's going to be next to Joel Brown. And I think the 81 is actually kind of loving this because he's just kind of following suit. He's that lap car is actually kind of creating some room out there on the track for the 81 to take advantage. And just like that, Buggs up to 5th place. Unbelievable. He's just you get the dickhead that follows the ambulance around. That's what 81's doing. He's following that fast ambulance around saying, thank you, getting through traffic, no problem. Smart move.
The 26 is really driving the heck out of his car right now, and he's up in territory he's not used to, and around guys he doesn't normally race around. And I don't think they're going to be giving him an inch, since basically he's up in their territory.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous that he's driving that car so hard, Jeff, that eventually it's going to fall off to where these cars are at, and then he is going to be basically a lapped car in the mix. And these guys are going to be like, what were you doing, man? Like, you're driving all the way up here and then...
Carpenter to the inside.
Yeah.
Man, I was watching Carpenter there, and he's just been tearing it up.
That was an incredible move by Carpenter to get around and start moving forward. And now he might have a little bit of momentum on his side as they all try to get around my guy, Joel Brown.
Awesome racing going on here. 81 on the inside of that Garnier Fructis, the man with the flow, Joel Brown. And you're right, Jeff, that 77 car, Kyle Carpenter, does have some great pace on him. And he also is on fresher tires, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was the one that had the screw up on that restart. And then he came down pit road. He was the only car that came down pit road and took tires that last time.
We're seeing the fruits of that labor paying off right now as you can see how much of an advantage those fresher tires are. He's going to be able to make that pass on Joel Brown very nicely. So great recovery there from the 77 car of Kyle Carpenter. Bumpy little restart there, but gathered it up, got a pit, and now he's back into P5. Well done.
And what else can you say about Kyle Carpenter other than that, you know, when he was known as, hey, when he shows up, he's an incredible driver. But now he's shown up every race. Like, he's here to race this time around, and he's got incredible speed. Right now, Guzman is kind of holding up the show with the 88 and the 87 right now. He was able to get by them, and now he's going to set his sights on the 67. And the 88,
he's holding up 88.
Yeah, just let him go.
Yep, just like we said, he drove the car super hard to get up in front of these guys, and eventually he's gonna fall back, and we're seeing that right now with the 88 and the 87 slotting in behind him, and we got Nick Sargent there too, taking advantage of that slower car.
Looks like the 87 had a lot of speed off of 4 right there, and he's going to be able to try to challenge the 88 4 position into turn 1 here.
And he's going to do it famously, too. What a move to use that gust of wind to his advantage. Score him now in position number 2. And here comes Sargent. He knows he can't win the championship with Wes in front of him. He may not be able to win it behind him, but at least he'll have a little bit of pride beating him to the line.
Mr. Sargent.
And I think Wes is might be falling back a little bit here, but Carpenter's sticking with Sargent, and they're gonna try it. No, Wes doing smart move there, saying no, I'm gonna go down to the bottom, don't try that again. But he pushes up the track there just a touch, and like Nick Sargent's got a bit of a run there.
And if you watch here with the 77, yeah, he's running the top lane for he was using the top lane there for momentum, and it was working out well. But yeah, look at the difference here just by tires.
Yeah.
Tires do make a huge difference at this track, especially when it's cool like this. You've got incredible amounts of grip. You've got your choice of racing lanes, and if you've got partners behind you, you can definitely make a move wherever you want to go. The challenge, though, is playing with that arrow, being able to stay in that wind tunnel and be able to control these cars in all kinds of air, be it smooth or turbulent.
The 81 there is working on the 48 of Nick Sargent. Sargent slowing up a touch, and I can probably see Jason Lance here dart behind Boggs, see if he can follow suit there, because yeah, Sargent is slowing down, struggling with that car on that top line a touch. Who's that? Oh, that's Robert Webb behind him. That's a lap car behind them. Oh, but look at this, Charles Gray getting around. That's Zachary Guzman again, another lapped car. The Carpenter is just going to get around him. So good job, guys. He got all the way to the front. Now you're going to be falling back.
Yep. We knew that was going to happen. So he got all the way up there, almost a fodder arrow, not quite. And now he's falling back. But that just goes to show just how quick Favignano is right now. 3-second lead on Gray. On older tires, able to hold him off. Not even a competition.
So expect this kind of racing now for at least the next 30 or 40 laps. We'll have maybe one more green flag pit stop if necessary as we ride along the back bumper of the 81 of Brandon Buggs. These guys are now just kind of sitting in line. They're going to do a little bit of racing amongst one another, but they're not going to do anything serious. I think everyone is saving as much as they can for that last big push at the end. Guys, is that a smart strategy, or is that a little too conservative too late?
I think it might be too conservative, too late. Right now, even though we've got a lot of racing to go, it's time to get going, because you can see how different the track position is based off of this last restart to where everybody ended up, but also on tire management. So tire management is key. A green flag stop could completely change up this race.
Yeah, Jeff, I know that you yourself, you've dabbled with trying to save your tires early on, and then
it's frustrating.
What's frustrating is sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Because I remember even us racing, we're like, I'm glad we're patient, because those guys burn their stuff up, and you feel like Superman passing those guys.
Yep.
So it's a kind of a coin flip of like, okay, if we get a ton of green flag runs, maybe I do be patient and patient with my tires and just be patient around the track. Because who knows how long it could go for, but we're also seeing some cautions come out right now. So the other side of you is thinking, well, shit, let's just go now, because who knows when the caution is going to come out, and track position matters, because we're all going to come down for pits.
That is very true, and it's a balancing act, because if you're in the top 10, you can't really afford to do that. If you're in the top 5, you definitely can't, but if you're in top 10, you really can't afford to give up so much by conserving your tire, because you'll never make passes on anybody. So 10th on back, yeah, you can play those games and try to figure something out, but if you get forced in the top 5 easily to run your stuff, otherwise somebody else is going to.
Now, hey Joe, if you were in the car, Joe, you think you could be this patient driving around this track, or do you think you just hammer down and try and get to the front? What would you do?
If I were in the car, I think I could learn to be patient. I mean, I've never been a great driver, don't get me wrong. That's why I'm on this side of the race instead of that side. But if I were in the car right now, I would be patient. I think I would just wait my turn, kind of feel everybody out, and see what other people make mistakes. See where other people are making mistakes and try to capitalize on it that way. I'm not going to try to push it probably until about 40 to go, because then hopefully I'll know what I've got. I'll know where everybody else is, and I can really start slowly but surely picking my way through this field. Remember, slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Well, Bay Area Bugs able to make the pass there on Joel Brown. He is now up to 5th place, top 5 situation for the 81. Nicely done to get around those cars. He's been battling with those guys for the last few laps. And he's going to try and set his sights on P4 with Wes Graham. It's going to be a tough ask to get up there with him. But yeah, Jeff, Favignano is putting on absolute footing. We haven't really talked about him because he's just in no man's land.
Well, he was, but right now Kyle Carpenter has decreased that lead that Favignano has by quite a bit. He's now 2.5 seconds back instead of the 3 he was. And I'm watching lap times, because I love to do that. The current fastest car on the track right now is Kyle Carpenter. Just ran a 32 flat compared to Favignano's 32.2.
Just watching back here, I see some really fast cars going by these top 5 guys, and that's actually going to be Ryan Steinhoff. Oh, there's a contact there between Nick Sargent and Joel Brown. Joel Brown goes to the inside of that wall.
Oh, big hit.
Is it going to be a caution? No, because he is down there far enough that oh, no,
caution
never mind.
Out. Well, that changes it all up.
Sitting on the pit box with us, man. He said, sure, nice to get that thing out of the way. Next time you can go home.
And he's got that car stuck. Oh, he's going to have to tow it.
Oh, what?
Yep, he's going to have to tow it.
Yeah, he might have blown a tire on it and just beached it out there. That is not a good look for the 43 Garnier Frutis Ford Mustang.
Yeah, it looks like he just got loose and got into the 48 car. Good job by the 48 to keep it going straight. But,
Yeah, I see he broke that left front there, and then when it spun around, he was right there in the ditch where he couldn't get that car going straight.
Oh, man. The bad luck continues for Joel Brown. He has just had just up and downs all season.
Lots of damage. He's going to be on pit road, but everybody else is going to be in pit road, and they're coming to you right now, Tony.
Yep, we've got everybody coming down pit road. We've got a couple of guys, some of the lap down cars are staying out, but everybody's going to come down here. We're going to be looking at likely one more stop after this, so getting out here with good track position is going to be huge because they're going to be pushing. Nobody's going to be saving anything from this point forward.
You got to be absolutely flawless on your stop here. No mess ups.
Bugs overruns his box. Got to back up.
Oh.
Ooh. Hey boys, I'm gonna take a quick break here for about 10 minutes. So I gotta go water my concrete.
Okie dokie.
That's a fun sentence. I'll be right back.
Favignano off first, and then the 77, 87, 88, 86, 48, 81, and then the 11. The 444, 22, 14, 5505 is how they're going to roll off here.
I can never tell if Ryan's being facetious or if he's actually being real. like is watering his concrete a euphemism for something? I don't know.
People think I'm way too, they think I'm serious, and they just don't get my sarcasm, I guess.
Your sarcasm is very subtle, but in a great way. You have to be listening for it. You have to be, looking for the reference in order to appreciate it.
It's very refined.
It is. That's a good way to put it. Very refined.
Yeah, it's not in your face. I don't know. I guess a lot of people think I'm just too serious about everything. I'm like, I don't live my life that way at all, but
having known you as a good friend now for several years, I can confirm. So Favignano continues to put on a clinic out here on this field. Kyle Carpenter now in second, Charles Gray third, Graham fourth, and Jason Lance rounding out your top five. Sargent and Bug sixth and seventh. That championship is slipping away from them very quickly. And as it stands right now, Graham wins the championship. But I think more importantly, what we want to know is who's going to win the race. Can Favignano hold on for another 67 laps?
Well, I think the 77, he's in the spot he wanted to be in the race right now to get a win. And he's the fastest car on the track that I've seen, getting those consistent 32 flats there for a couple times compared to the 32.2 that we saw out of Favignano. So a lot of speed there with the 77. And now he's got the track position to make it the move on him.
He does have the track position, but Favignano has done a great job of simply backing everyone up, forcing them to wait, forcing them to be patient so he can get that big jump. You're going to have to time it just perfectly. Otherwise, you may end up with the same fate as Brandon Buggs in that 81 machine. You may end up accidentally jumping the start and have to pull that start fish penalty.
And riding out the top 10 is Robert Bearda and Isaiah Stevens running top 10 after starting 15th. So good run for him so far.
Great night for him as well. Other guys who are recovering and have made some good runs through this field include Kyle Cleveland, who's now running position number 8. A lot of great guys, a lot of good runs out here so far in the championship 300 at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. A lot of great runs. Really a great way to finish season number 10, Jeff.
Yeah, and we've seen all sorts of different strategy work for these drivers. And, Charlotte is a track that you first start off, with the service, the iRacing service with. And there's not a single guy out here that hasn't mastered this track somewhere with a certain type of car to the track combo. The next gen is really throwing a wrench in there. I know there's a lot of drivers that don't seem to really care for this car, but there's no question that it provides amazing racing, and you've got to be able to have the talent, and you have to have the patience to drive this car. And that's the reason why we're seeing the same guys that are, doing what they're doing. But we saw guys earlier in the season that were struggling with this car, and now they're in the top 10.
Yes, we have. We're seeing the maturation of a lot of great drivers, which is kind of a shame they're not going to run this car this year or next season, but we'll get to that later on down the line when we have time to do so. Right now, that first racing Chevy Silverado base truck about to make the hard left turn down pit road, and once again, Favignano will take them to the Geico restart zone.
And green flag is in the air outside lane of the 77. Didn't get going as fast as he wanted to. A lot of guys scared to get that penalty, probably the reason for that. But now it's side by side back here for second. That's Kyle Carpenter on the outside, and the 87 to Charles Gray, and the 88 in tow.
Side by side, they continue to run. They're going to go from 2 lines to 1 line down the backstretch, knowing that they can only go as fast as the draft allows them to do. Everybody lines up now, all the way back to, it looks like 7th, 8th, 9th position. Everybody going to run in draft, do what they can to run down the leader and try to bury him behind a mountain of cars.
And that's exactly what you have to do right now. Everybody has to run that single file lane, but it's not going to be easy because some guys are going to get a little greedy. But if they want to maintain that push all the way to the front, it's going to have to be done by everybody being in a single file lane. But we're seeing guys already side by side battling right here. Got the 88 and the 86.
And now they've shuffled the 88 of Wes Lemess out on the outside. That is not a good look, but hey, that is the cost of doing business. Score Jason Lance up 1. Meanwhile, Favignano getting a run on the rest of the field, a third of a second over Charles Gray and company.
He's a third of a second right now, but how long? Because the 87's got speed on him, and that 77 is so fast. If he can push the 87, he might be in a better position to catch him.
He may be in a better position, but it's all, like I said, it's only a matter of time. He needs the help of those guys behind him. He needs them giving him that push from that multi-car freight train. If he doesn't have the guys behind him to give him that aerodynamic push, it's not going to help him, and he's going to continue to move back. Gray consistently about a third of a second behind, but can Favignano find something? Can he hit the afterburners in that U.S. Army Chevy Camaro and start making some moves?
Nick Sargent getting impatient, diving into the bottom of the 88, challenging for that spot. That's for the 5th position. Remember, the 48 and the 81, these guys are battling 4 points right now just to be in the podium position for the championship.
Right now, I was about to say, right now, pride, it's nothing but pride on the line. At this juncture, these guys are racing for pure pride. They want to be able to say they had the last trophy of season number 10, and that is why they are racing as hard as they can. Let's ride along with Wes Graham on the inside, your heir apparent for this championship, and he is just bogged down with traffic. On all sides of him, he is under assault.
I think he's happy to be back on the bottom lane. He was on the outside getting stuck there. He was not happy with the car up on the top. Now he's on the bottom. He's making that push forward. But look at the 77. Look how fast he is in the center of the corner. He lets the car roll a lot earlier than some of these guys, and he's able to get back to the corner, or back to the, not the corner, but the throttle a lot quicker, and that's showing just how much more speed he's got.
He does have a lot of speed under that machine, and he's got a lot of people around him that want to make those moves with him. The problem though, again, is if they can't get organized, if they cannot line up and just agree to run in a line for the next 50 laps or 40 laps, whatever it takes to catch up to Favignano's going to continue to get ahead. The more infighting they do behind him, the better it is for Leonard Favignano. Kyle Carpenter now in second, Charles Gray third.
That difference there. The lap times last time, a 30.5 for Carpenter to a 30.7 for Favignano. So Carpenter considerably quicker here, and he's found his way to the back bumper. He'll be challenging for the lead here shortly.
That's if Favignano doesn't continue to run as hard as he can. He can get away from this field when he wants to. That is not an issue. The problem is the rest of the field going to let him get around? As you see the 86 of Jason Lance there trying to do everything he can to climb the ladder and and close the gap here to maybe get a top 3, definitely a top 5 on tonight's race. Favignano still in the lead, but for how much longer, and how much longer will it take these guys behind him to line up and start driving forward?
Well, you got to remember, this is classic Favignano driving here. He'll let you get to his back bumper. He wants you to get closer and closer so you can anticipate your runs, and he knows that. He wants you to get close and close, so then he can just start maintaining pace on you and make you tear your stuff up. He's really good at doing that. He's caught so many drivers out from doing that, but if anybody can challenge him, it's definitely that 77 with Carpenter.
Oh, absolutely it is. Carpenter's got a fast car underneath him. He's got the help of a draft coming up behind him. He definitely has a chance, but if he can't get that push, he may be waiting quite a little bit longer. He may have to burn more of those tires than he wants to underneath him, but he is definitely staying in pace with Carpenter, with Favignano. Favignano cannot shake the 67 behind him.
And one might think, it's got to be something to do with that draft, because as soon as that 77 is sniffing that draft, it's going to help him out. You see 67 run a little lower than the 77, trying to prevent that from happening. The 77's going where he knows the car's faster, and the 67 gets in the wall. Or actually, I think the 77 did as well.
I think so. I think both of them got into the wall, and that definitely hurt their opportunity. That could have been the opening Favignano needs to bury the rest of this field. As you see, the 86 is Jason Lance now trying to get on the inside of Charles Gray. Side by side, will they get there? They'll go side by side in turn 2. Whoever comes out first is yet to be seen.
All right, boys, I'm back. I've been watching this battle for a while back here.
Between the 86 and the 87, the 48 to the inside, 3 wide.
3 wide now going into turns 3 and 4. Advantage Sargent. He will clear the 86 and the 81. That'll put him right behind Wes Graham in position number 5. Graham now trying to get around the 87 of Charles Gray. Wants to get as close to the front as he can, but those cars holding him up. Meanwhile, Favignano in another zip code in front, holding the second on the field.
Yeah, Graham, your big winner of that one. He was in 6th place there, battling side by side with Bugs for a while, but he was able to take advantage of that, and he's going to be P4. But Sargent not so willing to give it up to him just yet, as he's trying to stick his nose in there on the inside. But I think Wes has got some good pace there, and he's going to be trying to catch Charles Gray there in the 87 mobile. But a lot of action here. We've seen it all night, Jeff, of this tight field here. Drivers jumping to the front, down, back. It's been crazy watching them mix it up.
Well, we know they got to come down pit road at least one more time for fuel, but you're seeing the difference here of guys early on that were just kind of taking it easy. No one here in the top 10 is taking it easy right now.
Nor should they. These guys know with 50 laps to go, time is not on their side. They are 3/4 of the way through. They've got a very short amount of time left on the field. It's go time, and it's go time now. You throw your rivalries, you throw everything else to the side, and you say, who's coming with me to charge up front and try to steal one more win from your win leader, Leonard Favignano.
Carpenter's fallen back quite considerably here, over a second to Favignano. And maybe the best choice now is to allow the 87 to catch him, to give him a little bit of a push here. If these guys can get hooked up in a nice tight line, they might be able to catch him. Outside of that, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, this is where they need to line up. This is where they really need to start working together and try to close that gap. The more they fight amongst themselves, the more they infight for position, the better it benefits Leonard Favignano, who's continuing to pull away from this field. Now he's got a 1.5 seconds, a time zone, if you will, between them. Even if they line up, they may not be able to catch Leonard Favignano just the way he is commanding this field.
Only 2 points separate these two drivers, the 48 and the 81. They are battling for position for that spot in the championship standings. And it's really tight right now. Just two points separating them.
They're 2 by 2. This pack has been battling all night. And Bugs going to the inside there as they almost touch 87 and the 77 there. This is your battle for 2nd and 3rd. And you got Lance and Graham behind them. And this is just insane, awesome racing by these guys. Tons of car control because they're on burnt up tires right now. And this ain't easy as they fall into single file on that top line. Jason Lance staying below. Can he make a pass on Carpenter? And Carpenter slowing up.
Yeah, Carpenter got in the wall when you were gone, and he dropped back quite a bit, and he hasn't been able to get it going since then.
And he's going to drop all the way to 6th place off of that.
And meanwhile, Favignano's loving this. This has allowed him to increase his lead to almost 3 seconds on these guys.
Well, once again, if you guys don't line up, if these guys do not use the wind tunnel to their advantage, it's going to take away drag. It's going to add drag to them. They're going to slow down, and Favignano is going to be the only beneficiary of it. Save the drama for later. Right now, you got to get up and catch that leader.
For me, whatever. Go hot lap all you want up there, Favignano. I'm sticking with this pack because this is some entertaining racing going on here. I'd rather watch these guys because these guys are putting on a show right now. As Charles Gray trying to hold off the 86 Icy Mobile of Jason Lance, who's had a very strong night tonight, going back and up down the field, but he is now back battling for 2nd place on the inside out of 4. They got close to the wall there as they come down the front straight.
On the front straight and now into turns 1 and 2. You're riding along with Jason Lance. Check out, you were riding along with Jason Lance, who is currently side by side with Charles Gray. Move the 86 up to position number 2, and now he's going to try to lead the charge up front.
Bugs out of nowhere into 4th place. Him and Graham have been battling for a while back there, but he's going to set his sights on Charles Gray in that Chuck E. Cheese mobile. And he's saying, hey, boys, I'm fast. I think Bugs is now, I think he's been saving his stuff, and he's now putting the pedal to the metal. It's go time.
Yeah, and you might wonder why the 88 jumped out of that as well. Maybe he knows, hey, I need to have a little bit more tire if we're going to have a green flag stop here, or, there's a caution possibly coming. The 88's definitely in strategy mode right now to try to win the race, because he knows if he can't make a move on pit road to win it, I don't think it's going to happen for him.
No, probably not. At this juncture, you just got to put the hammer down and hope for the best. Roll the dice and see which side they land face up. Favignano continuing to run over 3 seconds on the rest of the field. And so now at this point, you know what? I'm inclined to agree with you, Ryan. At this point, just fight as hard as you can. Get the position you can. Let Favignano have the win. At this point, you're just racing for pride with your best friends.
And that's what it's about at the end of the day. So going back to the points there, guys, you guys have a little bit better grasp on it for me, because I know that Wes is about 30 points ahead of 2nd place. Does he have it secured here? Because I don't think there's a field of 30 drivers out here.
Yeah, he has it secured.
Oh, okay.
If we had a few more drivers show up, yeah, it would have been different, but
all good. No, it's still been exciting racing. So your battle for 2nd place, really, and that's going to be, like you said earlier, between Sargent and Bugs. They are only 2 points. So basically, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Bugs has to beat Sargent by more than 2 spots, right?
Yeah, he needs to pass Gray to get the 2nd spot.
Woo! So we'll kind of pay attention to that storyline brewing here as we come up to lap 160 after this last corner here.
42 laps left in this race, 41 when we get to the start-finish line. And with Favignano so far ahead in the race, the story is really between Bugs, Graham, and Sargent. Right now, Bugs 2 positions ahead of Sargent. He wants to get at least 3, try to make his case for the second place in the league. Graham basically has the championship. All he has to do at this juncture is finish the race in order to win the championship. For Bugs and Sargent, though, still a little bit of work left to do with 41 to go.
And there's a reason why these guys are in the positions they're in. I mean, you look at Bugs, Graham, and Sargent running 4th, 5th, and 6th. Well, there's a reason for that. These guys are in those positions for the championship because this is what they have done all season. They've been consistent. They have finished races and very well, if not won races that helped out tremendously in the points. But on top of that, that's the reason why these 3 are next to each other. It always seems so weird when you're like, oh, they're in the championship, but they're all next to each other on the track. Well, there's a reason for that.
And they've all shown up to each race. As you know, we don't have any drop weeks on our point schedule, so they've shown up to every single race. Well, that's why you wonder. And Favignano has won a lot of races, but he has missed some races, scoring 0 points, unfortunately for him. So that's why He is not in the contention for winning the championship, but that I like it. You got to come out, you got to race, got to score some points, and I think it's great.
Got some green flag stops coming.
All right,
77 to pit road.
The 77, Kyle Carpenter on pit road. He'll be the first taker, with the 22 following in suit. And we'll see what the 67 does here, if he's going to make a decision to come down pit road, because if he's going to, it'll be this time or the next time by. But you've got to be flawless here. We're going to be green flag stop. You cannot make a mistake. You can lose and you can win this race on pit road.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the most critical stop of the night. This is where the boys and men will be divided. If you mess up this stop, your race is effectively over. Period. Hard stop. Pack it up. Say good night. As you see right there, Bugs and Gray battling side by side for position number 3.
Yep, and that'll put Bugs to second in the standings right now if he passes the 87 here, which he's got a nose on him. But they also have to coordinate, hey, who's coming in pit road and who's not. Now they're going to stay out a little bit longer.
Tony, you feel free to interject if you see anybody else coming down pit road.
I certainly will.
We're definitely going to keep our eyes on the 67 and see when he decides to come down pit road, because that is going to be the biggest one to watch, as he could lose it all on pit road by having a bad stop.
All eyes now on the 67 of Favignano with 36 to go, 35 when we get to the start-finish line. The question here is Favignano going to stop? With how notoriously hard he is on these cars, is he going to stop? And more importantly, when? And then when you do make that stop, the question is, do you take all 4 tires? Do you take all 4 tires and fuel, or do you just take 2 tires and a splash of fuel? Those are all questions that will be answered here in the closing laps of this race.
Well, Twitch chat, it's about that time. Let's see some predictions. Who is going to win this race?
26 car coming to pit road.
Old Guzzy coming to pit road.
A lot of hard racing right here. This is for second. The 81 trying to take that position away. That's going to secure his spot ahead of Sargent.
Bugs and Lance still side by side, burning it down as hard as they can. They know they've got a very little chance of catching the leader, so Bugs is just going to try to go for position number 2 and see what happens from there. He will make the pass with the help of Charles Gray, and now score Bay Area Bugs position number 2, Lance 3rd, and Gray 4th.
Guys, the 81's getting pace. He was faster than the 67 at last lap.
Yeah, this is such a tight battle here between the top 5. It's gonna come down to, like you said, pit road, who does what, and if you get a speeding penalty, race over, the end. Miss your box, race sucked, the end. You do not want to do that.
Well, then if a caution comes out, then it changes everything else, and I can guarantee you we're going to see more than one green-white checker.
86 to pit road.
All right, Jason Lance coming down and loses it on pit road. Gets it going straight again. Tried to whoa that car up a little too hard and slid it through a few boxes there. Almost looped it. Got it going straight again, but that was an oh crap moment for sure.
That was definitely not what he wanted to see after having such a great run up front. That is good, effectively end his night, but a caution flag will change all of that if and potentially when one comes out. 30 to go at this juncture. It's Favignano, Bugs, Gray, your top 3.
The 21 of Johnston on pit road as well. He'll be getting service to his car, waiting to see when the 67 is going to come. And they have not said anything yet.
That was a tight moment for Jason Lance. Sure, he lost a few seconds there on pit road trying to gather it up, but that could have been a lot worse for the 86 car.
Whenever you guys see that stutter happen right there, that's ATVO and iRacing. It only happens once in a while when ATVO is repopulating the timing screen. And it especially happens when we have people on pit road because it's doing a lot of stuff there. But that's the reason why you're seeing that slow down.
Nothing we can't handle. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Nothing we can't handle, nothing we can't live with as the season comes to a slow but sure end. Lap 172 of 200, now scoring 173. Favignano, Bugs, Greg, Graham, Sargent, your top 5. And again, everyone's kind of watching Favignano. And I'm going to ask you guys right now, if you're Favignano, what is your strategy coming down pit road? Is it a matter of if or when? As it looks like he may be making the move right now.
Well, if I'm Favignano, I'm going to run this thing as far as I possibly can until I absolutely have to come down pit road. Force these guys to burn their stuff up, and maybe they're going to make a mistake on pit road.
Favignano slowed up like crazy back there, dropping his lead in half, opening the door for Bugs and company to come charging with him. Is that a accident, or is that a smart move to try to have some partners to get the draft going once you leave?
These tires are gone.
Pit road and 14 coming as well.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting. I think it's smart, Jeff, like you said, of Favignano to run it as much as he can, because right now you're hearing guys coming into pits right now, so you're going, all right, those guys are coming out on cold tires that are going to heat up, and they're eventually going to be faster than these guys on spent up stuff, which means sparks could fly, cautions could come out, because this is that critical moment of you don't want to come down to pits if there's a caution. And we almost just had one there between the 22 and the 26. Jeff, they got super close of Guzman and Reno. That was, as I was talking about it almost just happened. Woo.
77's about to unlap himself, which is great because the 67's still got to stop, so that's going to give him a huge advantage.
Yeah, and he just did exactly that. You heard it from Tony. The 77 was coming on the newer tires. He's able to pass the 67, get back on the lead lap. And now the 81 is staring down the barrel there and pushing towards the 67. So this is going to force Favignano into a position where he's going to have to pit.
Potentially, but again, he's been known to run as hard as he can and then block the rest of the way. Now, Bugs is a gentleman driver. He's not going to force the issue. He's not going to run him out of the way if he blocks aggressively. But as we've seen with Favignano before, sometimes he can be his own worst enemy in these situations. I don't know that he wants to box, but he may be forced to. You're right, Jeff. And the question is, how does he execute it, and when does he execute it?
But is this strategy? Is this the 67 saying, okay, come on, 81, get just by me, so you have to make that executive decision on when you pit?
Ooh, that's a good question. Ryan, what do you think?
Well, there's going to be some mind games going on, I think, between these two drivers, because, yeah, he's almost damn near letting Bugs pass him. We'll see what happens. Favignano's like, you know what? I'm tired of making the call of I come down to pit and then everyone else comes down to pit. Maybe he's tired of being the guy that decides it, because he does it every race.
Well, he's also really good. We were talking about whenever you were gone, how the 67 will let somebody reel him in, and then he will just maintain pace with them to try to force them into burning their stuff up a little bit more. But that's not even an issue right now, as Bugs takes the lead away from Favignano.
Just like that, the 81 car, who was a lap down, let's not forget it, this race, is now your race leader. And I gotta be thinking that maybe Favignano just cooling it down and just playing it safe because he thinks there might be a caution. We are speculating to nobody to the nth degree right now. We don't know what they're thinking. We're just speculating on what it could be, but good on Bugs to get up front and lead this race.
Yeah, because him taking the lead right now, and if he can increase that lead by like a second on Favignano, that's going to put him in a great position to get on pit road under green flag conditions.
Absolutely. With 21 laps left to go, right now, it's a very interesting time to speculate and gamble. And, you know, if I'm both Favignano and Bugs, at this juncture, I'm not going to make that move. I'm just going to burn it down and hope I have enough to make it to the end of this race, as now we see Favignano may have actually genuinely burned down that car. He's got the one car coming around him, and now Charles Gray challenging him for position number 2.
I mean, if these guys have been saving enough fuel, they might try to make this work to the end. I don't think they can do it. Tony, how close is it on fuel?
Well, we've only really seen these guys push at about 50 laps, and we're there now, so we're in uncharted territory at this point.
I mean, it would be one heck of a strategy call to try to push it.
We are in dangerous caution territory right now because we have faster cars from the back of the field now catching up to these guys that have stayed out. Cars like the 70 of Rick Evans, 26 of Guzman, Joe Ogle out there passing these guys as well. So this is where it gets, this is the hold your breath moment of, can these guys get around safely and cleanly and not cause a caution, because this is where it could happen.
We got tight racing here.
I'm about to say, I think the other side of that too is what happens if you do run out of fuel? What happens if you do run out of gas on these closing laps? Are you going to be able to navigate it safely and keep the green flag running, or is a yellow flag going to come out and change the complexion of the race? Only time will tell.
So Leo's dropped to the 3rd position. That's the 70 car of Rick Evans going by. And that gives Brandon Bugs a 1.6 second lead now on Gray.
So Bugs remains your leader. Charles Gray solidly in second. Favignano dropping through the field. I think he just went too hard, too fast, too long, and now he is paying the penalty for it. Not a lot of time left, guys. At this juncture, what is your strategy? At this point, what do you do to either keep your position or try to move forward?
Well, you know what? If you're in the position of, you know, pushing it on fuel, you push it until those guys come down pit road, because if they run out of fuel, you're going to hear about it. You're going to know, you're going to see it, and you're going to say, oh man, maybe I need to hit pit road like now.
If we run this thing out green, this race is going to fall right into the lap of the 77 car.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Tony, that 77 car has got pace. The top 6 cars, everybody, have not pit. So that's P1 through Bearder there in 6th place. But you pay attention to that interval, Kyle Carpenter, because he is on fresh tires and he is reeling these guys in. So if, like Tony said, if this thing runs out green, it's going to be right to Kyle Carpenter's wheelhouse.
Yeah, he ran a 31.8 that last time to a 32.6 for Brandon Bugs. But track position is a thing, and well, it's gonna be close. I can tell you that right now.
And if we get a yellow, it's out the window for 77, because they're gonna have so much fresher tires. He's just gonna get sent straight to the back.
We got some more lap traffic coming through. That's Kyle Cleveland passing the 81 there, and then you got Nick Gould passing him as well. So
that 05 is gonna hold him up. And 26 might have tried to push the issue there, and that's where the 81 says, okay, man, you're faster, go.
Yeah, don't push me 3 wide, Guzzy, for the love of God.
Yep.
Just go.
Yeah, no, this is arguably the most nerve-wracking part of the race, when you have lap traffic fighting for position against the guys who are on the lead lap, when you're not sure who is in what position and where. This is where it's Charles Gray now down pit road.
Sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead. No, let's follow this.
Ooh, almost slid it, but he got into his spot. No problem there. Up on the right-hand side, and probably going to take 4 tires here.
Oh, there is some close action going on. Oh, my God. Alexander Reno, Robert Webb was on a tear, just drove through everybody. Reno kept it together. That was so close there around Favignano and Sargent. Man, that was really close. There's so many storylines developing here, but just an update as well. These guys Bugs, Favignano, Sargent, Graham, and Bearder, 57 laps on those tires, and they are feeling it.
They are absolutely feeling it now as they just continue to drop through the field and everything gets shaken up. 11 to go, 10 when we get to the line. Can anybody challenge Bugs? And more importantly, at this point of the race, does Bugs dare go down pit road?
Guys, I'm watching those lap times there. Kyle Carpenter a 32.2 to a 32.9 for Brandon Bugs. So not as much of a difference as you would think. So the 77 has pace on the field, but it's just incrementally. And 10 to go.
Yeah, with 10 to go, I don't think that pace, that incremental pace, is going to make a whole lot of difference. 14 seconds between Carpenter and Bugs. Unless something happens to the front of the field, unless we get that caution flag, which has been known to happen late in the race, it may be too little too late.
West makes the pass there on Nick Sargent, and he's going to get around the 67. No problem here. Oh, and they make contact. Really tight car right there, trying to keep it on the bottom. Doing everything he could. The 67 kind of squeezed him a little bit there. Doesn't seem like it's going to hurt him.
Oh, Charles Gray coming up real fast to this pack here. Had to get on the brakes. He's got speed as he's making his way around as Guzzi gets into Favignano a little bit.
Nope,
sorry, that is
Sargent.
Nick Sargent. Oh man, it is getting very nerve-wracking out there of these fast cars passing. Because Charles Gray's like, I gotta go, guys. I gotta get my lap back. Because if there's no caution, so he is pedal to the metal. And Carpenter's got to do the same. Do not save your tires, man. Get going because you got a ways to make up. But right now, if Bugs is good on fuel, he's looking good.
He may be a lock to win this race if he's got the fuel to go, because he's got a stranglehold on the field. With Favignano burning everything up, Bugs can win the race. Graham, on the other hand, unless something insane happens, unless he were to drop out of nowhere, Graham's going to be your champion.
These guys have really pushed this fuel run farther than I ever thought they would try.
They have to. If you want to try to win this race, you're going to have to do it differently than what Favignano did. Favignano was going off of tires. It didn't play out in his favor, and I think Favignano is going to be the one that's going to be possibly in a bad position for fuel.
With how many laps they put on these tires now, 62 laps on this set of tires. Those right fronts are screaming. And I know iRacing put an update in of tires failing. And we're now into that. And I'm not trying to jinx anybody, but it's something you got to be aware of.
6 to go at this juncture, and you're right. Right now, these are going to be arguably the 6 most dangerous, the 6 most tense moments of Bugs' racing career. He knows anything can happen to this point. He knows he's on borrowed time and things are running thin. All it takes is one mistake and this race is over for him. 5 to go, the most difficult 5 laps arguably of his career to date.
And, you know, the type of driver the Bugs is, he's not going to push it on fuel. He knows, he will push it on fuel, but he's looking at his fuel gauge right now knowing, hey, how much can I save to actually win this race? Because he has 5 seconds on Graham right now, 5.5 seconds almost. He has plenty of time, and he knows that. He can start pushing in on the clutch and save as much fuel as possible. Other guys might do it as well, but this is really the only option he's going to have if he's that close on fuel.
Sargent's coming in.
Interesting time for Nick Sargent to come in as he comes down pit road. This could be the end of his race, or he could be gambling on a caution flag coming out in the next 4 laps. Anything can happen at this juncture, and I think Nick Sargent is trying to play the odds a little bit, betting that something crazy is going to happen.
And possibly he had no choice but to come down on pit road on fuel. And that makes you wonder, how close is it on the fuel for these guys?
Yeah, no, I would love to see what Bugs' fuel gauge is reading right now, but I think he's going to be sucking on fumes here shortly.
Looks like Sargent just came down for a quick splash, and he's already gone.
So there you go. So we know it's tight on fuel for these guys. They've just got to hold on a little bit longer, but it almost seems like Bugs is not saving enough. He's 32.8 that last lap. Let's see where he's at right here. He needs to start pushing that clutch in if that was a problem. But, you know, with all of the different cycles we've seen tonight with pit road, you know, his mishaps on pit road, maybe he got the best deal on this one as far as the fuel window went.
If there's another car, Bearder's about to come down pit road, so they've got to be getting close on fuel.
If you're Bugs, you're getting on the radio saying, Guzzy, I see you behind me. If you see me starting sputtering fuel here, give me a push.
Do whatever you can to get Boat Boy across the line. 1 to go, sponsored by Thrustmaster. And at this juncture, all he's got to do is clear 1 more lap. Can he do it? Will the car continue to run, or will it fall off those strawberry rails?
He's not saving anything right now, so I think he thinks he's got enough to make it to the end. If not, he has enough to coast to the end. Only a couple more laps to go. Or sorry, a couple corners.
Across the Geico restart zone and to the start finish line, the final race of the season belongs to Brandon Bugs. Wes Graham, your champion, finishes second.
What an incredible run. It's going to be interesting to talk to him for sure on how close it was on fuel. But yes, your champion for season 10 in the Cup Series right there, the 88 of Wes Graham. His information is not going to pop up there for us, but there you go. So we'll see double donuts. We'll see that 81 and we'll see the 88. There's everybody congratulating the 88 for a nice job on the season. That closes it all out. You have a champion, and I got to say, I think the fans are going to be very, very happy about the 1-2 finish tonight.
67 car ran out of fuel coming to the checkered flag.
Oh, man.
It must have been close.
Where did he end up finishing, Tony? P9?
Like he finished in 9th.
Oh, man. Unbelievable. It came down to fuel. If you asked me at the start of this race what it would come down to, I would not have guessed it'd come down to
have any fuel to do a burnout. He's run out on the line.
He has no fuel to do a burnout.
What an incredible job.
Wow.
Wes Graham's going to burn it down, though. He's got plenty in there to get it done for his championship.
Don't do donuts around Bugs.
Please. Please.
I think Charles Gray is going to go help Bugs do some burnouts.
He's going to pit him.
There we go. Yes. Pit him.
Cleared. He is. Sarge has cleared him to pit. There he goes.
That is awesome. You got no fuel. I'll spin you around, buddy.
I think Bug's able to get it fired up again, at least to do a half of a donut.
A little bump start, maybe?
Yep. And there's everybody together right there, all on front. What an incredible race. What an incredible season. Your winner of the championship right there, that 88 of Wes Graham. Twitch.tv/WesTheMess88. There he is right there doing an incredible burnout. To say thank you to everybody for watching here on Twitch.tv/JFavignano, as well on Favignano Live on YouTube. Right here, you're witnessing the end of season 10, but the talk of the town has got to be the gamble that 81 made on fuel tonight to get the win after going down a lap because of a black flag on a restart. Incredible.
I told you. It ain't over. He's been there before. He fights through the adversity, got his lap back. He was back in the game. And they're all, I don't know what these guys are doing here. But how about Favignano? He must have been slowed down trying to save fuel and just didn't save enough at the end. And Favignano, can't say enough good things about him. He had a hell of a race. He was putting on a clinic out there. And it's a shame it came down to fuel for him, but I don't think he can go away too disappointed because he performed very well. But Jeff, take us through our finish.
All right. Well, right there at the very top, getting the win done tonight is Brandon Bugs after starting 5th. Wes Graham started 18th in the back. He will not only win the championship, but he will take the 2nd place. Kyle Carpenter, up and down day, had 4th, and then had that incident getting in the wall, fell back quite a ways, and then drove all the way back to the field for 3rd. What an incredible drive by that driver. Jason Lance, Kyle Cleveland, 22nd to 5th, the top 5 for Kyle Cleveland. Great run there. Nick Gould, Charles Gray, Isaiah Stevens started 15th, gets a top 10 tonight. Really good run for him. Leonard Fodorero gambled on fuel like the 81, didn't have enough there. And after the pole, will get a top 10 in the 9th position. Alex Reno will get a top 10 after starting 10th.
The remainder of your field is the 05 of Clayton Cyrus, started 16th, finishes 11th. Nick Sargent, who had a great run at the beginning, will finish position number 12. Joe Ogle will drop from 7th to 13th at the end. Rick Evans will only drove down one position from 13th to 14th. Robert Bearder will finish 15th. Ryan Steinhoff, who was up and down all evening, will finish 16th. Joel Brown will finish 17th. Zachary Guzman, Robert Webb, and Austin Johnson round out your top 20.
And Jonathan Orendorff in 21st, 22nd to Ben Tuttle. And that rounds out everyone there. We're going to head over and interview your drivers that you are watching here tonight in just a few moments. We'll be right back. All right, and we're going to open it up here. Before we get to the championship winner, because I'm sure he's really excited and what an incredible drive, got to catch you up to the 81 Brandon Buggs. Buddy, what a drive after that black flag. Had to drive back through the field, and it came down to how close was it on fuel? We saw you run out right there at the end, and how did you get it done? I don't think he's here yet.
He's not even here.
Wow.
Well,
well, we will talk to the championship winner, Wes. What a drive tonight. You had some scary moments back there, but you definitely played it safe. And then tell us about the end of the race and how you were able to grab second.
First off, got to thank Tony at WMD Paint Shop for the awesome liveries throughout the season. Really appreciate him. Without him, we don't look good. So thank you to Tony, and thank y'all for the broadcast. Go ahead and preemptively do that. But kind of sitting there, worked my way through the field and got up to the top 5, and then just decided to see what the tires could handle. It still drives like the Charlotte of old and like the Gen 6s and everything. But, with these cars, you just got to carry so much momentum through the corners. And, if you just breathe out of the throttle too much, you lose a couple of tenths. But getting close there, about 40 laps to go, I was noticing that we were going to be pretty close on fuel. So I don't know if y'all saw me just absolutely climb the hill, but that was my first time trying to clutch it into the corner and forgot, oh, yeah, I got to slow down too. So ended up, I had a whole nother lap. I could have went another time around, but Buggs played it perfectly. Once we figured it out and talking amongst ourselves, it's like, yeah, man, stay out. It's worth it. And then especially when we saw Fodorero start falling back there, gave the position over to Buggs, and then gave it over to Chuck, and then everybody started making those pit stops. It just came down to that. So really proud of everybody. That was probably the best race of the season right there from a driver standpoint. So looking forward to putting these cars in the dust and bringing out the Arca Menard cars next season, and moving on from there.
There you have it, Wes Graham, your champion of season 10, and I believe this is his 5th championship in the OCRP series, correct?
I believe so.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
But earlier I tried to talk to Buggs before he was not here. So, Buggs, got to talk to you, buddy. What an incredible run tonight. You had that black flag, and I'm sure you were like, well, there goes my race. And then you just became really calm there, drove back to the field, did it 100% on the gamble with fuel. How close was it on fuel to get the win?
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I won't do it a whole boy. It was really, really close. I crossed the line 0.01 pretty much after crossing line 0, ran out. Didn't even have enough to do the burnout. Wasn't really the original strategy. There was just, we started going through the laps, and I was like, we were kind of wondering if Leo's going to run it to the end, and he stayed out there, and we were like, okay, let's go. I think we're going to make it to the end here. And, I felt really quick all night. I'm glad I was able to recover pretty well from that black flag. just a rookie mistake. I was looking over at Leo's car. I think he hit, there's some bumps up there in the restart zone, and I saw the front end lift up, and I thought he's going, and then I went, and he was not going. So thankfully we recovered well from that, but I just had a quick car all night. I could feel it. I could tell I had speed here. So coming down to that last run there, I was looking to be about 0.4 short is what I was expecting. I was expecting to hit the white flag, get halfway through on the backstretch and run out. So just started clutching in corners a little bit, trying to kind of keep as out of the throttle as much as possible. And I thought, you know what, I'd rather be out here and run out of gas and just coast and get whatever position I get compared to bringing it in the last 5. So I just said, this is it. We're going for it. And it thankfully paid off, just barely. And what an absolute race. That was a blast.
There you have it. Well, Brandon Buggs started 5th, and he will get the win tonight, just ahead of Wes Graham, and that'll be his 2nd win of the season. Moving on to Mr. Ryan. Who you got?
I want to talk to the guy I really want to talk to is I want to talk to Favignano, because I want to know what happened there. We saw you absolutely dominated 90% of this race, and when you started falling back there, were you just trying to save fuel, or was it tires? What was happening there?
I was just trying to save fuel. I realized that it was going to be a fuel run to the end because I didn't anticipate a caution coming out there in the last 62 to 64 laps. So I think I started saving fuel a little too late, and I tried to clutch it in turns, but I just didn't like it because the car had plowed tight up to the wall, and I couldn't get a good line off. So I ran out entering turn 1, and then just coasted to the finish from there.
Well, you had an incredible race there, man. You were on an island of your own out there for most of the race, and you watched the broadcast back and watch your replay, because I know you were gambling, hoping for a caution, and it was very, very close to. We almost saw 2 or 3 there at the end, so it was worth the risk for sure. But congratulations on a great season, my man, and congratulations on a great race. I'll pass it over to you, Joe. Who do you want to talk to?
Cortez. Wake up.
Oh, you know what? I muted my mic so you guys wouldn't hear my obnoxious typing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm trying to be more considerate as I grow older. I want to talk to the man who ultimately finished 3rd in the points standings, and that is Nick Sargent. Nick, it had to be a little bit of a bittersweet end tonight. You were running so well, and then the fuel bug bit you. What happened at the end there?
It just fuel. Ever since we took that last green, I knew it was going to come close on fuel, and I was trying to save that whole run. I don't know what in the world those leaders were doing. When I pit, I came out of turn 2 and was starting to sputter, so I was like, all right, I got to bring it in and just take a splash of fuel. But yeah, other than that, it was still a good race for me. I think I'm most upset that I finished top 10 every race this season except this one, and yeah, it's whatever. Good, congrats to Bugs on winning the race, and congrats to Wes on the championship. I'm excited to try out the ARCA cars next season.
I was about to say, looking forward to next season. Completely different car, completely different style. What do you do in the off season to get yourself ready for it?
Take a break. I don't know. I'm probably going to take at least a week or 2 off of iRacing, just take a break, and then I don't know, I might maybe try doing some marker races on the officials or something, just prepare myself a little.
That is your 3rd place finisher in the points, Nick Sargent. Jeff, I think that exhausts everyone, unless there's anyone else you want to talk to.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk to Kyle Cleveland. What an incredible race. Number 1, probably one of your best ones you've ever had. Started 22nd and got a top 5. Tell us about your race, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you. I think it was definitely one of my better races here in the league. I started in the back just because I've missed a couple races and didn't want to get in anybody's points. And
thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for being here for me. Oops, sorry.
Thank you for muting.
Wow,
You're
just
welcome.
hijacking an
Stealing
interview.
Kyle Cleveland's
Big
moment.
dick
My
stealer.
bad. I hit the wrong button.
Wow.
The first time
Unbelievable.
all season he gets to talk. Unreal.
Season he gets to talk. Season he gets
He's
to
talking.
talk.
Wow.
Just try to take care of my tires as much as I could every green flag run, and coming to that last one, I was trying to figure out if I could make it on fuel, and just figured I'd try to split the run in half and try to make up as many spots as I could on fresh tires. And luckily, a couple guys had to pit there at the end and got up there to top 5. It was a great race, fun racing with everybody.
Well, it definitely felt like you struggled with this car a little bit. Tell us about the difference between this one, and are you excited about the Menards car and what it'll do for your racing style?
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see how it works out. I know this one was a little wonky at times on some tracks, and I think maybe that one's a little more realistic as to what the cars do and can be a little more predictable.
Well, there you have it. An incredible run. 22nd all the way up into a top 5 finish for Kyle Cleveland. That is going to do it. We're going to let you guys get to your drivers' meeting. Congratulations again to Wes for the championship, and Bugs, congratulations on the win. That is how you win a race right there on fuel, by saving. And it was definitely fun to watch. So we'll let you guys get to it.
Thanks for the broadcast.
Thanks for the broadcast.
Bug, that's 2 hot dogs I owe you now, I guess.
Yep, 2 hot
Season he
dogs.
gets to talk.
Hey, thanks for the season.
Season he gets to talk.
Wow.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. How many of y'all are excited about the next season? I will not be participating in the Monday race, but I will possibly be entertaining the idea of doing something with the Menards car. If you guys want to see it, let us know for sure, especially on YouTube if you guys want to as well. We'll see how it goes. But let's talk to Joe and Ryan here. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better race to end this whole season. It was just amazing.
Ryan, you're the senior member of the crew, so I will defer to you first.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, my seniority. Dude, that race was absolutely insane. I could not have predicted that finish. Absolutely insane racing happening. And honestly, as a whole, just kind of reflecting on the season, it was a really good season. There was some ups and downs. We had some really good races. We had some really bad races. We don't talk about Martinsville. But for the most part, we had a lot of fun, and that's what it's about. I think these guys put on a good show. I think we put on a good show as well. I'm proud of us up here in the booth. Thank you to Tony for being an awesome race control, painting the cars, and being with us here in the booth. And dude, I'm just stoked. It was a great season, and it was no better way to cap it off. Joe, over to you.
Thank you, Ryan. I agree wholeheartedly. This was an incredible season. This was a lot of fun. We saw some incredible racing, and we saw a lot of guys who not only respect each other incredibly well on the track, but are also best of friends off the track and really enjoyed the competition that each other brought day in and day out on the field. As far as our crew goes, this was the most fun. I've called this professionally now for almost a decade, if you can believe that. I've been doing sim racing for almost 2 decades now, and called it professionally for over a decade. And now here we are. I can honestly say, even compared to the old Coca-Cola series I did with NASCAR, I've never had more fun than I've had in the booth watching this season and with these guys by my side all day long. These guys are awesome. I will miss broadcasting with you guys, but it's never goodbye. It's see you later, and I'm sure there's still plenty of fun left to be had for all 3 of us. And I can't wait for that day when we're all in the same booth once again, telling jokes about hot dogs and Goth IHOP and Tim Hortons and rubber and burnt rubbers and all the great things that make this league and you guys so special. Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be a part of this. It has been one of the great honors of my life, and I look forward to many more laughs to come.
Absolutely, man.
Over to you. What? How dare you?
We saw some incredible racing.
Okay, Jeff's playing with his Go XLR.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys here once we get off the air. Guys, I'm going to send you over to Wes. Be sure to congratulate him on the championship. That it takes a lot to get not only wins in this league, but also to win the championship. So be sure to go show him some love. That's going to do it for us here at Charlotte for season 10, closing it out. We will see you guys next time, and take care.